game day at Classic Nissan.
I'm Mike Stozer, General Manager at Classic Nissan here at Sanford. My team of professionals have every position covered to meet all of your automotive needs.
The starting lineup. Your captains on offense, number 5, Holden Cruz. And number 10, Jasmine Dowell. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandrin. Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
Nobody beats a classic deal.
Official Caro sponsor. Welcome to the Zaxby's pregame show on WBFT.
This is going to be a tough matchup for Cummins tonight, facing a Lee County team that comes in at 4-1. Cummins has been a little slow out of the gate, but they might get Lee County at a good time. Lee County, even though they're 4-0, hasn't played a ball game in 2 weeks. Of course, Hurricane Florence, kind of messed the schedule up. What kind of effect might that have on the team, Gary?
Absolutely. The Hurricane is just going to see if these teams can come out, penalty-free, be able to execute some plays, just kind of get back in the rhythm. Being out 2 weeks for any team on any level is going to be something that the coaching staff is going to be worried about. Just try to get them prepped. And like you stated before, they haven't had a conference game yet, so something like this is preparation for next week. I know they say you're not supposed to look at future games, but like you said, Cummins is going to have definitely a tough matchup tonight all across the board.
Well, on paper, this is a game that Lee County, looking at the schedule, you would expect to win here. Cummins has struggled at 1-5. They've given up 50 points or better 4 times, and in the 5 losses have a combined 16 points. But as well as Lee County knows that, so does Cummins. And this is a chance to play a school that's a perennial playoff team that has a lot of hoopla. They coming off Jameer Smith exiting the program last year and heading to Notre Dame. Now you see Desmond Evans come in here as a junior, so there's some real attention on this team. And this is a chance for these guys at Cummins. Nothing's lost because they haven't started conference play, but this is a way to get their season back on track. It's a home game. It's a beautiful night, and maybe you catch a Lee County team that's a little rusty. They say on any given Sunday, well, any given Friday, anything can happen in North Carolina at high school football.
Absolutely. Cummins is going to come out tonight, like you stated before. They're facing a quote-unquote perennial team in North Carolina with nothing to lose. So tonight is just kind of like the guys got to come out and try to just bring it to them, high school football or any level of classification. When you're the underdog, you're just supposed to come out and give it everything you got. So hopefully we see a full effort from Cummins and ready to ball.
All right, well, here's to a great night of football. We appreciate you tuning in. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
U.S. taxpayer expense.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
For decades, residents of Lee County have trusted First Health of the Carolinas to provide quality health care to the Sandhills region. First Health is excited to expand services offered in Lee County with the opening of the new First Health Lee campus located at 2919 Beech Tree Drive in Sanford. The newest First Health campus includes a 25,000 square foot fitness center with an indoor walking track, saltwater pool, weight area, cardio equipment, Les Mills group exercise classes, and so much more. Also offered within the fitness center are physical therapy and cardiac rehabilitation services. The 40,000 square foot medical office building includes a primary care practice, convenient care, outpatient imaging and laboratory services, back and neck pain, and a variety of surgical specialties. For more information about the new First Health Lee campus, visit our website at www.firsthealth.org or call 1-800-213-3284.
Are you ready to sell or buy? Call me, Crystal Copas, to assist you with that real estate transaction. Residential, commercial, or investment properties? With the RE/MAX brand and my highly efficient team, I'm your go-to girl with all the things in real estate.
We just love our new house in Broadway.
And it was made possible by Crystal Copas, who sold our previous home in only 3 days. And I promise you, she'll work just as hard for you.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
Are you ready for some football only on WBFT? Welcome to the Classic Nissan Game of the Week.
right, a rousing rendition of the national anthem by the Cummins High School Band. It was an interesting brass and woodwind arrangement. I don't know that I've ever heard it done that way. That was kind of cool. What do you think, Gary?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I've never heard it just straight brass either.
All right, I'm Chris Delambert, Gary Bush here doing the color tonight. We are in Burlington, just outside of Greensboro, North Carolina. The Lee County Yellow Jackets come in unscathed so far, and one would expect they could leave out with a perfect record intact, but they're going to have to do it on the field. A little rust to kick off after the hurricane shortened schedule, or I guess the change that Florence forced in the schedule. The game against West Carteret last week was initially rescheduled for earlier in the week, then kicked down the line a little bit, and ultimately postponed altogether. The tentative date for that makeup is November 9th, but more to follow on that. Keep up with what Coach Steve Perdue and the staff at West Carteret get sorted, but we'll see if that game ever gets played. In the meantime, Lee County comes. This is the final week of play before they begin conference play. And you're looking at that schedule, Gary, you and I were talking about as we come in, and you never want a team to get ahead of themselves. But on paper, if Lee County plays their game, it's difficult to see a loss on that schedule for them. This wouldn't be the first time that Lee County has put up a spectacular regular season. But they have got to be, to a certain extent, thinking about the postseason, thinking about making a run. And how do you keep these young guys focused? Because you know, in the age of the internet and access to information, they know what the score is. They know what's going on. They can look at the schedule just like you and I can. How does Coach Perdue and his staff keep them focused on the task at hand week in and week out?
Chris, pretty much I think what the coaching staff does, and a lot of times with good teams, and like you stated before, it looks like they can pretty much sweep the schedule, is focus on themselves. They're their own competitors. Pretty much they have to come in and grade themselves every game in regards to execution and how polished they look, and the lack of mental errors such as offside penalties and things of that nature, to mold and polish themselves. So when the playoffs come, it's really game time. So I think that's what the coaching staff has to do with a team like this, that, like you stated before, can kind of run through their schedule.
All right. Well, Lee County in their road whites will receive the kickoff, moving left to right across your screen. And it's a dribbler that's going to go out of bounds. Yellow Jackets will start with great field position there.
And Chris, I just seen number 40 for Cummins. Seems as if he was flying off the field like an airplane.
Well, Lee County, I think, is going to make them kick it again. So they'll back it up 5 yards. They don't want to give up a chance at a big return here.
I don't blame them. When you're a smaller 2A school and you're playing kind of a cream of the crop 3A class team, you want to limit their opportunities for their athletes to touch the ball, and you always want to prefer your defense to make the offense work. So I wouldn't want to kick it off either, and that might be a strategy to kick it out.
They keep kicking it out of bounds. Lee County will keep backing them up and make them kick it again.
Chris, if I was a 2A team like this, and to catch a team off guard, I might onside.
You might see that before the end of the night. It wouldn't be the oddest thing we've ever seen. I wonder when I see a kickoff like that, how often it's by design and how much it's how many times it's just miskicked.
When I was in high school, when we played top teams with excellent returners in high school, that was a strategy to just squib kick and rely on the defense.
All right, so the opening kickoff part 2. Again, this time hits one of the up men and is falling on there right at about the 49-yard line.
Well, Chris, I think the head coach heard me and decided to take the game out of their athlete's hand and make their offense work.
Well, the other thing, too, though, if you catch a lucky bounce and somebody mishandles it there, you've got a chance for a turnover. But Bobby Henready, Johnny on the spot, able to get possession for the Jackets, and they'll take over right at midfield. Favorable spot there. Colin Johnson leads a run-heavy attack. They will spread you out, but if you can't stop the run, the Yellow Jackets will run it on you all day. A.J. Boulware will start at tailback.
Well, Chris, the battle is always won first up front. So if Cummins want to have a chance in this game, they got to come out and with them front four and punch them in the mouth. And it starts with that nose guard, number 70, for Cummins.
Well, Cummins, the Cavaliers showing a 3-4 look. Colin Johnson surveys, gives it to Boulware. Boulware's got plenty of space right up the middle. Big run down across the 30.
And he's
still going inside the 20. The 15 breaks the tackle down to inside the 10-yard line on a huge run to start the game.
Chris, we see why they didn't kick the ball off deep. First carry of the game, he almost broke it to the house for about 40-something yards. I think that carry was.
We're going to give him, they mark it right at the 5. That's 45 on the carry for Boulware. Johnson goes quick, hands again to Boulware. Boulware's going to go into the end zone untouched this time. 2 plays in, 50 yards, 6-0 Yellow Jackets. You've got to tackle better than that.
You know what, Chris? They ran 2 plays, but those 2 plays were the same play. And if it's, that easy, Cummins is going to have a long day. Like I said before, the game starts up front, and that was straight up the middle.
I have been doing this for quite a few years, and oftentimes coaches will tell me, if you can't stop it, we're just going to keep doing it.
Absolutely.
It's not often, however, as Underwood adds the extra point, stretches the lead to 7-0. There's 11:41 left in the first quarter. We'll stay right here through the exchange. But coaches are quick to say that, but you just don't see it very often. It's almost as if they can't help but outsmart themselves. There you saw, same play back-to-back, and I'm going to tell you what, Coach Purdue and this Lee County staff will run that over and over and over again if it's going to be effective, and there's no shame in that.
Oh, absolutely, and another thing we're going to see with a smaller school such as Cummins, I'm pretty sure they have guys going both ways, and fatigue typically sets in when you're playing on smaller teams against a bigger school like Lee County.
Well, I don't reckon you have to worry too much about fatigue yet if each play is going to be a 2-play scoring drive.
Absolutely.
But no, Cummins will get a chance to show what they can do on offense. 2 men back deep. Trey Underwood to kick. And it's a high spinner. He's going to bounce it up. About 30. Good job of hanging on there. The catch wasn't clean by the up back, but he holds on at the 32-yard line, and we'll see the Cavalier offense for the first time tonight.
And, Chris, that was definitely a great fielding of the ball because if he don't catch that, it's Lee County.
Well, it almost slipped out of there, but able to hang on to it and avert a disaster.
So now Cummins get their opportunity to answer back to Lee County.
Tyrese Crisp at quarterback. Hands. The carry is right up the middle. Goes for nothing. He's going to lose a couple on the play. And you said to open, it's all about that battle up front.
And right there.
Too early to call it. But 3 plays in, Lee County dominating on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
And that tackle looked like it was initiated by Desmond Evans.
Well, Desmond Evans, we'll call his name all night. He lines up at the left end. Evans, one of the most highly heralded recruits in the country right now as a junior. A lot of whispers around Lee County as to where he might wind up playing on Saturdays about a year and a half from now.
And, Chris, Desmond Evans is 6'6", 220 as a junior. Kid's only going to get bigger.
Ball's on the ground.
Fumble.
Lee County's got it. Looked like a lateral, and that's how the refs are going to rule, and that quickly.
Jaden Covington.
Less than a minute and a half in, Lee County with their second score on the board. That'll make it 13-0. And that play just broken from the get-go. The penetration forced an errant lateral.
And it looks like we said before, the men up front, the big guy, number 42, Jaden Covington did the scoop and score, and now we're up 14-0. And like I said before, it always starts up front. We've seen a tackle for a loss, a pitch play where the defense was already in the backfield. He almost took the pitch himself.
Well, 10:38 to go. The kicking team for Lee County, not used to a turnaround this quick, taking a little bit of time to get out there onto the field. But they get them lined up. Underwood will look to add the extra point. And given the way this has started, he may have a long night tonight.
Absolutely. And, you know, Chris, it's always interesting.
Kick is up high, spinning kick straight down the middle. And Lee County stretches its lead to 14-0. We'll take a quick break and come back with the kickoff. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week on WBFT Channel 46 in Sanford, North Carolina, and around the world, even in Greensboro.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
All right, welcome back. Lee County Yellow Jackets, the Cummins High School Cavaliers. Jackets out to an early 14-0 lead. And right now, if you're on the sideline with that Cummins High team, Gary, what do you tell them?
Like we said before, you guys got to come out and just play. You know that you're fighting uphill battle. But David did beat Goliath, so that's what if I was a coach, it's about the fighting the dog, not the size. And in those situations,
you just invoked Archie Griffin. It's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fight in the dog. I love it.
Absolutely, man. Cummins has to, at this point, I call it grit. You got to kind of dig deep as just you being the player who loved the game of football, never to back down to nobody.
Well, Chris will lead the offense back out. They'll start at the 23, and one play, one turnover thus far. And running a man on late are the Cavaliers, and they'll see if they can't get untracked.
And, Chris, I'm looking at the top of the field. It looks like number 5 from Malik Graves. I would expect some type of
hands up the middle, going to go for nothing, maybe lose a yard. Evans there with a gang of Jackets.
And once again, you have Desmond Evans on the stop. It's like as soon as they called HUD, he was in the backfield. With a kid like that, as a coaching staff, you have to run away from him. Or you have to create some sort of plays to make him the option guy.
Well, you got a couple of different options available to you, I suppose. There is one line of thinking that if you've got, if you run right at him, he can't chase the plays down. I don't know that Cummins has got the size to move him around enough to do that.
And that's why, in situations like that, you key on him as the option guy so your quarterback can make a read based on the best athlete on the field possibly for Lee County.
All right, Chris taking a look over here. Got wide receiver stacked to the left. Going to throw it out laterally to number 5. Makes a move, makes a man miss. Going to be close to a first down. Run out of bounds at about the 33-yard line.
And, Chris, like I suspected, number 5, Malik Graves, seems to be kind of their go-to guy. So wherever we see him lined up, anticipate the play to go that way.
All right, so moving the chains. Cummins has got a little bit of momentum here. We talked about Evans, and, there are times where liberties are taken with the measurables for these young men. Desmond Evans is a legit 6'6", 220.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for me, I'm looking at Desmond, and he doesn't even get in the three-point stance.
All right, the pitch is around the right. He's got a little bit of space. Close to another first down. Makes a man miss. It'll be marked out just short of the first down.
And there we seen it, Chris. You have to key on Mr. Evans.
It's Javante Stanfield there on the carry. Well, and not the quick hitting splash play that Lee County got in on their second play on offense, but back-to-back first downs from Cummins, and that is something.
And Chris, I would continue to run the ball like they're doing.
Oh, well, Chris drops the throw, looking down the field. Got a man, hits him in stride across midfield, and that's 3 straight first downs. This time, Ricky Alexander on the reception. That was a good-looking play. I thought that Chris was just trying to throw it away.
Yeah.
And he knew exactly what he was doing.
And once again, you know, this is the sort of rest we talk about that comes off 2 weeks not playing with Lee County. You know, a lot of times these players have to learn how to read their keys and do their job better, as my old high school coach used to say.
All right, so Lee County shuffles the defensive line. Evans lines up at the right end. Chris takes a look. Spread package to the left, to the right. Hands, and that's not going anywhere. Thrown for about a 6-yard loss.
And believe it or not, Chris, I don't know if Mr. Evans fell or not, but he ran into number 52 for Cummins, and Cummins had a pancake on that play.
Whoops. Javante Stanfield with the big loss there. They're going to give him forward progress. Back to the 48-yard line. 2nd and long coming up for the Cavaliers.
And once again, we have number 5, Malik Graves, on top of the field. Look for him. Look for them to go to him.
Well, he's got man coverage down here. Lee County not given a whole lot of respect. And there's another lateral. This time he finds Stanfield. Stanfield's going to get back close to the line of scrimmage, but that was sort of an emergency swing pass. Stanfield did a good job not to lose a whole bunch on the play, but it'll still be 3rd and long. We'll call it 3rd and 15 coming. 7:55 and counting in the first quarter.
On Chris, when you're facing pretty much like a 3rd and 15, you know,
3rd and 15, 3rd and 16.
You're down 14-0 to a pretty talented team. What do? Do you play conservative and just hope your defense can do something, or what's your play call?
Well, I think for me, I might be in 2-down territory already. Chris drops, got a lot of pressure coming. It's coming from everywhere, and he's going to get swallowed up. Gets back across the line of scrimmage. The ball comes out. It was stripped on the way down.
They're going to call him down.
Nice
on that
play. I don't think anybody was really looking at that, but Sincere Goldston made a nice play and came out of there with the football, but the referees aren't having it. 4th and 12, and Cummins makes no hesitancy in the decision there. They send out the punt team.
And with a young quarterback such as Mr. Tyrese Crisp for Cummins, this is going to be definitely an uphill game.
All right, Tim Lett is back for the Jackets. That's, I don't know how it wasn't blocked. That's a roughing coming. I'm not 100% certain how they didn't block the punt.
And
the Yellow Jackets, 3 men got through and came clean and missed the ball altogether. And in the meantime, mashed the punter, who gets up slowly but makes his way on his own power over to the sideline. But that'll be a first down for Cummins.
And another breath of fresh air.
Well, and it'll set them up for good field position once they walk this off. They're going to walk it off from the line of scrimmage. This will put Cummins down at about the 35-yard line.
And Chris, once again, we have one of these games. It's 4-down territory.
At this
and that's
point,
how my play calling
unless
is.
unless you're going backward from here, I would think yes.
So I would be looking at this as I need about 2.5 yards out of you guys 4 times for the first down.
Well, as a great man once said, if you gain 3 yards on every play, you'd never lose a game. Crisp is back. He's under pressure immediately, flips the ball out of there.
It's another fumble.
I think they're going to get a face mask, though.
And
well, Crisp is he's walking over to talk to his coach. They know what's going on. The rush was there immediately
once
and
again,
swallowed Crisp up. But I think he might have got a hand up into the face mask, and that may be coming off. And will be yet another Cummins first down.
And Desmond Green seemed to be untouched on that play.
Desmond Evans.
Desmond Evans.
Oh, you got to apologize to Mom and Dad. All right, so walking it off, that is what happened. Personal foul, face mask. So that'll move the ball to the 30. And they're not going to call it an automatic first down. They're going to set it there, and it'll be 1st and 6, maybe 1st and 7. But after a really quick start for Lee County, they can't get out of their own way. I think that's 5 first downs now for the Cavaliers on this, and they're going for 6 of those back right now. Malik Greaves just overthrown by Tyrese Crisp. 2nd down coming.
Well, we see right now that Tyrese Crisp has a nice little arm with him on him, and Malik Graves, number 5, seems to be their go-to guy. That was just a little bit too far out of bounds.
Well, and you have things in your mind in terms of body types, and Chris built a little bit more like a fullback
Absolutely.
than a quarterback. I'm a little bit surprised to see the ball come out as clean as that out of his hand. Not your prototypical size weight combination that you would expect to see in a quarterback, but playing pretty well so far.
Absolutely, and he's only a sophomore, so
playing very well given the duress he's been under every time he goes back to throw again, and he's stacked up by Lee County. The ball's still out. Lee County may have gotten away with one earlier on the lateral that was picked up. I think Cummins might have gotten away with one there. That looked an awful lot like a fumble to me. They're going to wave it dead, call it an incomplete pass, and that'll bring up 3rd and 6. Lee County bowing their backs a little bit and said we've had enough of these first downs.
Absolutely, Chris, and I think right there Mr. Chris might have missed a read because he definitely had his running back out in the flats. I think he was looking downfield for a bigger play. But when you're playing a team like Lee County, you got to get the ball out of your hands quick.
Well, it looked like a little bit of a must rush there by the defensive line. I think they were anticipating a screen or one of those swing pass laterals. But they didn't really pin their ears back. The pressure got there. Crisp, 3rd and long. This is a big play in the ball game. Man in motion. Crisp drops. Pressure right up the middle. Floats it out there. It's going to be, looked like it was going to be picked. Good play by the receiver to come back and break that up.
Yeah, Malik Graves did a head-up play and knocked that ball down, so it was not an interception.
Crisp was really seemed satisfied there to just kind of throw a 50-50 ball, and Graves not able to get back, but he was able to prevent the interception. So now we are in the 4-down territory we spoke of, or are we?
It looks as if they're bringing their punting unit on the field.
It looks as though they're bringing the field goal team out.
Oh, field goal.
And this would be 45 yards, 46 yards from where they're going to set up. In fact, by the time the holder gets down, 47 yards. Now, we haven't seen anything in pregame or on the kickoffs to make us think that Cummins can pull this off, but it's down, it's blocked, and it's snatched, picked up, going the other way. Lee County's got it, and it's going to the house. Jaden Chalmers picks up the block punt.
And returns it.
And all of that momentum that Cummins had built is gone in one fell swoop. Touchdown Jackets, 20-0, 5:17 left in the quarter.
Well, you know, Chris, once again, at this point, Lee County has scored in all phases of the game. Special teams, offense, defense. You have to be careful.
6.5 minutes into the game. That's not an easy thing to do. All right, so Trey Underwood, who I predicted earlier might have a long night, will be out for his 3rd extra point attempt of the game.
And you know, Chris, I definitely understand if you feel your kicker has the leg, but when your front 5 on offense can't contain these guys, field goals on this level is definitely something difficult to be able to block.
Well, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the kickoff. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week on WBFT Channel 46 in Sanford, North Carolina.
This is a crisis alert from Save the Children. Hurricane Florence has slammed the East Coast, causing massive destruction. Millions are affected by this disaster. Families have lost everything. Children's lives have been turned upside down. They're frightened and need to feel safe again. Save the Children is on the ground with emergency response teams and critical supplies to help families in need. To learn how you can help, go online at savethechildren.org.
All right, welcome back to the Classic Nissan Game of the Week. I'm Chris Delambert. Gary Bush here with me in Burlington, North Carolina. Thus far, the Lee County Yellow Jackets are all over the Cummins Cavaliers.
And Chris, I honestly don't believe Lee County is going to kick it that deep. If I was Cummins, I would move my backmen up about 15 yards actually, so they can get an opportunity to get the athletes the ball.
Well, when you're up early like this, you want to limit the opportunities for a splash play. And kicking it deep always makes you susceptible to a big return. So I can't imagine there's any chance. And given the relative struggles of the Cummins offense, I don't think they pose a huge threat. And just like that, they kick it deep.
Kick it deep.
And snatched up after a little bit of a bobble. And the return man is forced out after a short gain. So Cummins will set up shot 5-12 left in the first quarter. Ball will be spotted at about their 20-yard line. Oh no, back at the 13. Every year I get a little older, and every year my eyes get a little worse.
So, Chris, I'm interested to see how Cummins come out because, you try to run the ball, you get penetration up the backfield. The best thing to do is try to spread this team out and get to the edges so you can stay away from that big D-line.
Well, a little bit different look offensively than we've seen. They go 3 wideouts to the left. They're going to hand it that direction. That's not going to work.
And now that I'm looking, it looks like somewhat of a personnel switch for Lee County as well. It seems like they have taken out Mr. Desmond Evans and Sincere Goldson, 2 of their guys on the D-line.
Well, all the rest of those guys practice too. They deserve some reps. All right, personnel changes along the offensive line for Cummins. Graves checks back into the game. 4:35 and counting here in the first quarter. And in a game like this, given the way the season has started for Cummins, I'm going to be paying very close attention to the sideline and watching body language.
Absolutely.
And that sort of the nonverbal communication coming from down there. This is the kind of game that can get away from you pretty quickly. All right, crisp drops, laterals one more time. That's over the head of the receiver. They're going to call it a forward pass.
That pass was to Javonte Stanfield coming out of the backfield, just over his head. And, I definitely understand maybe some of Lee County's approach with taking a guy like Desmond Evans out of the game. Right now, kind of give him a little breather. But like you said before, 2 weeks out, haven't had a game. And, they're coming in here playing tonight, a team that on paper they're supposed to win. I would still want to see my guys come out here and fully execute. A lot of penalties early on, and it's still the first quarter.
All right, Chris looks at the defense. Hands right up the middle. Tough going. Ball carrier breaks a tackle, gets back, loses yardage again right up the middle. And that's tough when you're running into the middle of the line and consistently losing yardage. That's something you should be able to fall back on. Interesting play call on 3rd and long, especially given that you've had some personnel movement over there on the Lee County side. But that brings up a punt. And if you recall, last time we did this, half a dozen Yellow Jackets wound up in the punter's face. They didn't get the ball and took the punter down. It resulted in a personal foul and a high snap. That one gets out of there. It's a high-hanging kick, and Lett makes a great catch there at the 30. A little dangerous, but gets away with it. Tim Lett on the return for a yard, perhaps, and the Yellow Jackets almost got that one.
And Chris, Tim Lett definitely made an awesome catch and play, but if I'm the coach, I'm going to chew him out about that because, we get into conference play. You cannot risk things like that.
Well, we just talked about it. You're talking about a game that is well in hand right now. Don't give anybody a chance to make a big play. So Colin Johnson will be back on the field with the offense for the first time in what seems like forever.
Yeah, there's only been one offensive series.
2 plays for the offense so far. Johnson fakes to Boulware, looking down. He had a man wide open down the right sideline. And instead throws a pick down the middle, and that's going to make the coaching staff crazy when they look at that.
And that looks like Malik Graves on the interception for Cummins. And again, when we're looking at guys from a eye standard test, he looks like their guy.
Well, and Cameron Horton, the receiver here on the right sideline, ran wide open down the sideline, and Johnson never saw him. Instead, his first pass of the game is picked by Cummins, and they will set up shop at the 12-yard line, 3:18 remaining in the first quarter. And, running out of opportunities to get momentum going. There's what they need, right up the middle. And breaks several tackles. That's Stanfield running like a man possessed. And a flag comes in at the end of the play. Might be a face mask at the tail end there.
Yeah, absolutely. When a flag comes in that late on a great run, it's 9 times out of 10 a face mask.
I tell you what, Stanfield shot out of a rocket.
Yeah, absolutely. But the hole was big enough for anybody to walk through. So, and again, this is what we're talking about with Lee County. They're their own enemy, and this is a game where if you're going to win big, you need to do it the right way, though. You need to be polished, no penalties, and right now, although they're up big and scored in all phases of the game, this isn't clean to me. This is, about 5 penalties that's moved Cummins down in scoring position.
Again, 22 yards on the carry, another 15 on the penalty. That'll put Cummins across midfield. They'll have the ball at the 47, 1st and 10.
And like you said before, if I'm Lee County's coach right now, I'm not satisfied.
Oh, I don't know. On some level, I think Lee County coaching staff is smiling inside because they've got this game in hand. They're still up 3 scores, but plenty of material to bark at these guys and keep them motivated. Chris fakes the hand, going to keep it himself, tries to take it around the left side, ganged up on, is going to lose 3 back across midfield, back to the 49-yard line. And Lee County got their starters back there on that defensive line.
Yeah.
Nice turnout for Cummins here.
Absolutely.
Taking a peek at the home fans out there looking good.
And the cheerleaders are going hard. They're dancing, they're cheering, they're keeping the morale up. And again, we have a long game. Football is 4 quarters.
Chris takes the snap. Fakes the hand to Stanfield. Well, no. Fakes the hand to Stanfield. Puts the ball on the ground, picks it back up, and loses about 6.
And that was a great tackle by Delmas Jennings for Lee County. He did not bite on that fake platter quarterback and made a solid tackle in the backfield.
All right, so after the penalty put them in good shape at the 47, they're all the way back to their own 44. 3rd and 17 coming up now. And this is the type down and distance, if you're Cummins, you just don't want to get into.
Yeah, and definitely, and Lee County's playing 2 high safety, so that limits that deeper pass.
Well, Graves is the man to watch down here. Got single coverage. Well, and they roll the safety away from him, and there goes Crisp looking for him. Graves got a chance at it. And nice play there at the end. Oh, and they're going to get pass interference. That's a tough call.
Now, Chris, I'm not gonna lie to you. If that ball was put out a little bit further,
Graves had him beat. Jaden Chalmers came through and looked as though he made a nice play to bat it away, but there's going to get pass interference on the play.
And I was just seeing, Graves say that to his quarterback, like, get it out there a little bit further. I have him beat. And that's about the 3rd time they've done that. And each time he's had him beat. Just got to connect.
Well, and there's only so many times they're going to get away with that because, and that's not going to result in a first down, by the way. We'll have 3rd and 2 coming up. But the play design was there. We watched. We knew it was going to Graves. Apparently the Lee County secondary didn't because they were able to put the man in motion and run the safety away, which locked up single coverage on Graves, who appears early to be their go-to receiver. He's checked out of the game now. Crisp draws him offside, and that's going to be another penalty and another first down and more material for Coach Purdue and this staff. Up 21-0. This has not been a cleanly played game by Lee County so far.
And if I'm one of the starters for Lee County, I'm going to hate tomorrow morning because they are going to be running.
All right, so the result of the penalty is a first down.
And they just put Malik Graves back in. And to be honest with you, I would suspect some type of a fake and send him on a deep route, especially how this corner is playing, which is very interesting, unless they're going to play some type of bracket coverage.
Well, they're playing him. They're telegraphing inside leverage.
And there it goes again.
And Graves runs right by him on the outside, and that's a touchdown. Got away with a little bit of a shove. But, I mean, that's the most predictable touchdown I've seen in a long time. And I'm really confused about the alignment of the corner there.
He gave up the –
he shaded that and telegraphed that from a million miles away. Graves just ran by him, and Cummins is on the board. 21-6, 1 minute left in the first quarter.
And also I'm pretty curious because Jaden Chalmers have been watching Graves all game, and then they switch with some form of a bracket coverage, and he just blew past both of those guys.
And Antoine Lewis was there, had the initial coverage, but you can't give it away and show I'm going to give you the outside with the way you're aligned. And Graves saw it, took full advantage of it, and they ran essentially the same play they've run every time. That extra point is blocked, and Cummings is going to have to rethink kicking the ball against this Lee County front. They just can't keep him out of there. All right, Cummings is on the board, making this thing interesting. 21-6, a minute left in the first quarter. We'll be right back with the kickoff. You're watching WBFT Channel 46 in Sanford, North Carolina.
Are you ready to sell or buy? Call me, Crystal Copas, to assist you with that real estate transaction. Residential, commercial, or investment properties? With the RE/MAX brand and my highly efficient team, I'm your go-to girl with all the things in real estate.
We just love our new house in Broadway.
And it was made possible by Crystal Copas, who sold our previous home in only 3 days. And I promise you, she'll work just as hard for you.
All right, welcome back to Burlington, North Carolina, on campus at Cummins High School. Southern Lee was playing a perfect half there in terms of the scoreboard until giving up the long touchdown pass, 35 yards on the play to Graves. And I lost my train of thought there. We almost we talked about the bad things that could happen with those short kickoffs on the ground. But Malik Graves with a nice touchdown. We were talking about the coverage on that. And, you know, it came out, the Lee County defense obviously wanted to force him outside, but I don't think we've seen Malik Graves run an inside route yet tonight.
Chris, Lee Graves has literally ran a streak every time he's ran down the field because he's a mismatch for all of the corners, it seemed like, for Lee County, and I'm concerned. I'm concerned because this is a 2A school that you would think, matchup-wise, that would not occur, but Graves have literally ran free.
Nice size-speed combination. Pitches to A.J. Boulware. Boulware's got a little space around the left sideline.
And it's
going to pick up 16. That's 61. Oh, excuse me. That's 66 on 3 carries now for Boulware.
And that was a solid tackle once again by Malik Graves. It seems like he's that guy for Cummings, and he's doing it on offense and defense. Hopefully he's in shape enough to keep this going all game because they're going to need him.
All right, Johnson takes a look, barks out signals. Pitches again. That looked like a forward pass to Boulware. It's not going to go anywhere.
It's a great tackle by number 40, and it seems like every time he makes a play, he runs around like an airplane. I kind of like it. He reminds me of Rudy.
Drives me nuts when you run those edge plays to the short side of the field.
Absolutely.
You know,
never understand it. I guess to throw a team off.
I just don't get it. All right, Lee County 3 wide receivers out to the right. That's going to get 5 free ones, and if you're Cummins, you can't afford to do that. That'll be 2nd and 5 coming up now after a nice stop on first down.
And Chris, you know, so far Malik Graves has an interception, and he has about a 40-yard reception on a touchdown, and it doesn't seem like Lee County strong suit is the pass game. I'd be very wary throwing to his side of the field.
Run the football.
Absolutely. Like you said earlier, don't fix something that is not broken.
We saw that inside handoff on the first 2 plays of the game to A.J. Boulware, and we haven't seen it yet now on this drive. All right, Johnson's back to pass, scrambling, running for his life, crosses the yard to gain, and nope, they're going to mark him a yard short. 3rd and 1 coming up, 4 yards on the carry there for Johnson.
And Chris, I understand that when you see 6 guys, 7 guys in the box, you decide to throw the ball. But when you are supposed to dominate up front, I'm running into the teeth of the defense and say, stop me. And it seems as if Lee County is actually feeding into the head coach of Cummins' hands. If I'm Cummins, this is what I want.
All right, they're 0-0s on the board. That marks the end of the first quarter. We'll take a quick break and see you on the other side. You're watching WBFT on TV 46, Sanford, North Carolina. All right, the first quarter's come and gone. It's a quarter of highs and lows for Lee County.
Absolutely. At one point, it looked as if Cummins was getting ready to roll over, and then all of a sudden, a couple penalties and a big play by Malik Graves on both sides of the ball with an interception in the first quarter, as well as a touchdown. Although they are still the underdogs, if you're Cummins' head coach, the game is kind of, it's not out of control, and it seems like he's playing a lot of chess out here with Lee County.
Well, Graves, you said in a game that may wind up being a physical mismatch, so I think it might be fair to say Malik Graves has been the second best player on the field so far.
Absolutely.
But let's not overstate that. It's still early.
And it's interesting because Malik Graves is now in the 3-point stance as a rush end. They have him everywhere.
That. All right, Colin Johnson looks at the defense. Hands to Boulware. Boulware's he spun around by his face mask, breaks the tackle, still on his feet, and he's going to take it to the house after being spun around 360 degrees by the face mask.
And like you
I
said,
don't know that I've ever seen that happen before.
And again, like you said, run the ball. And that's what they did, and they got a touchdown, and Malik Graves missed the tackle.
So Malik Graves, you've still had a great game up to this point. 44 yards on the touchdown run by Boulware, who goes over the 100-yard mark on 4 carries.
4 carries, 3 touchdowns. And single-handedly, Boulware is controlling the ball game for good old Lee County.
So 110 yards on 4 carries. Trey Underwood out to add the extra point. And, as mad as that Lee County coaching staff might have been a few minutes ago, now you're lauding praise. A.J. Boulware, what a run.
Absolutely. And what I would like to see is for Lee County to come out and have a solid, clean rest of this quarter. And I would like to see Cummins to continue
Just
to go
as you
to
said
Mr.
that, we're going to get another pre-snap penalty. I don't think a clean quarter is in the cards tonight, Gary.
Again, like we said before the game started, Lee County is going to be their own enemy tonight, and they're supposed to be their own critique. So, like you said before, the coaching staff is going to have a lot to say during film.
All right, so we'll back him up, make it a little bit more difficult for Mr. Underwood. Oh, no, my mistake. They're going to get Cummins off sides. They're going to split the difference, move it to the 1.5-yard line to try the extra point there. Now I feel horrible for having laughed at Lee County. And I'm certain that there's somebody out there watching this game today that's going to accuse me of bias. I told you, this is the first Lee County game that I have done apart from the Brick City Bowl in years. There was no ban. There was no falling out. We didn't get divorced. I picked up the full-time duties for Southern Lee, and doesn't mean I don't have a special place in my heart for Lee County, though. So we're in good shape. All right, 11:45 left in the first half. 28-6, Jackets over the Cavaliers. Cavaliers, again, if you're just turning in, with the white helmets and jerseys. They are moving from right to left at this point. Trey Underwood will come to kick off. Malik Graves, who literally is doing everything tonight, has done everything from play defensive end, catch touchdown passes, has an interception. Of course he's returning kicks. I am convinced at some point tonight we are going to see him line up in the shotgun at quarterback.
And you know what, Chris? I would not be surprised. Why not?
All right. All right, Underwood teeing it up. Very deliberate counting of paces by the junior kicker. And it's deep. Spinning, and will cross the goal line for a touchback. And the Cavaliers will set up shop. 1st and 10. Beautiful night, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a great night in September. It's fall weather. It is football season, the greatest time of the year.
Well, the best part about the fall, combined with a 7:30 kickoff tonight, is that no matter which side of the stadium you're on, you don't get that blinding for about half an hour as the sun sets over one side of the bleachers or the other. It does. This is the first. I think this is the first time this year that I've thought autumn.
Absolutely.
Nice
like
little breeze going. It's dark early.
It's what I call comfortable temperatures.
Comfortable temperatures, followed closely by cold as heck.
Well, luckily we're in North Carolina, so it doesn't get that cold.
Yeah,
like
don't tell that people from North Carolina that. They're not trying to hear it. Another pre-snap penalty. They're talking about it.
So, Chris, I'm
They're going to get offsides on the Jackets. So, I falsely accused them of a false start on the extra point attempt earlier and was wrong, but they give it right back with the offsides on 1st and 10. So it'll be 1st and 5. Cummins moving from left to right, trailing 28-6. Needs some offense here.
And Chris, I noticed the observation that the corners for Lee County, when they stand as if they only want the wide receiver to run to the sideline, and they play with 2 safeties over top. But I don't really understand that approach.
Well, it's not. You said corners,
but it's corner.
One in. Yeah, it's
23.
All right, Stanfield's stacked up, and they'll give back 2 or 3 of those 5 yards that they got with the penalty. Can't react to the line of scrimmage. It's been tough sledding up the middle, save for the one big run by Stanfield, 27-yarder, that was compounded by a face mask on the end of it. There is a yellow jacket defensive lineman down.
It looks like he has some cramps.
And while Lee County's staff comes out to check that out, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week.
For online banking made easy, there's only one choice, First Bank. Online banking, checking accounts for business and family to fit every need, including mobile banking, no-fee traveler's checks and money orders, and so much more. First Bank is conveniently located on Spring Lane, South Corner, and Sanford, and North Main and Broadway. First Bank is your progressive community bank.
Hi, I'm David Bashir. Here at First Bank, I feel like we've got all the right people in the right place to serve your banking needs now and in the future.
All right. Chris Delambert here with Gary Bush. We are enjoying a cool, breezy evening. I don't think even the most cynical among us could find fault with this weather tonight. It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. It's just warm enough where you really don't need a jacket, light hoodie, some good football, Friday night lights. Nothing better than seeing kids come out here and play for something that, the greatest benefit is just being able to have that camaraderie, play with amongst family and friends. The odds with statistics, a lot of these kids won't see the field past this, unfortunately. So it's always good to watch good high school football with kids who just have the love of the game.
Yeah, you're going to get me a little misty there. No, that's something that you lose sight of is for a lot of these young men. And, we're still halfway through the season, but, some of these guys have been playing football since they were 4 years old.
Absolutely.
And, some of them will get an opportunity to go on and play on Saturdays, but the number of young men that get to do that is so infinitesimally small. Most of them, by the time they get to that senior year in high school, and I don't think the realization is there until the very tail end of that senior season, and they're like, I don't get to do this anymore.
Absolutely, Chris. I can remember, being a sophomore at my high school, and we were in the playoffs, and the coach gave a speech, and every playoff game he would give the speech, and he would pretty much say, leave it all out on the field because look around. Majority of you guys, this will be the last time you ever suit up.
Yeah.
Not just here, but in general. You're going to go as men and live your life. So, you take that to heart when you go out there on the field because this could be your last game, and it was off the motivation. And I think, that's safe to say, and it's the love and hate of the game.
Well, the other pieces of that, too, is you obviously can play basketball anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're playing at the Y or you're playing church league or, just pickup ball. Men's slow pitch softball has kind of become the replacement for baseball. Football is that thing, man. You're not gonna get to put shoulder pads on if you're playing pickup football.
Yeah,
all right,
man.
Chris, back to pass. Taking a shot down the left sideline, miscommunication there.
And Chris, I'm gonna tell you something. Graves was wide open.
I saw it. Running right down the seam. Chris decided to go to the sideline. Looking for Kamari Booth over there, but maybe.
If I'm Tyree Chris, I'm not throwing the ball to anyone else but Malik Graves. He's running untouched, uncontested, and you're down right now, and we're trying to win this ball game.
All right,
he would be my Cooper Kupp
tonight. Third and 7 coming up. Well, I don't know. I was hoping that at some point Cooper Kupp would stop catching passes and Brandon Cooks would get a couple more last night.
Man, I was loving every minute of it because I had Adam Thielen, so that means the more points the Rams score, the more opportunities Thielen gets to catch it.
I hear you. It's funny how fantasy football drives everything now. You ask people, who's your favorite team? Hey, man, it depends on who I got going in fantasy. All right, so 3rd and 7 coming for the Cavaliers. Chris takes a snap, drops back, pressures up the middle, immediate, and never had a chance.
Never had a chance to
Never had a chance. Desmond Evans plows through. No, I take that back.
I believe that was
it was Covington. It was Jaden Covington got through there. Evans is going to make a lot of plays, but we're trying to give him credit for every one of them now. All right, Will Lett, who had a bit of an adventure last time he returned to punt, able to make a leaping catch. Tim Lett, the junior return man, back. Pressure comes, and they do not get to the punt again, and I'm just 100% unsure as to what happened there. Ball rolls dead at the 44-yard line. Cavaliers will take over in plus territory.
Chris, you got to stretch out for him. You got to reach out and touch, as they say.
Well, Evans came through and then just sort of pulled up and didn't want the flag and sort of tiptoed past with his arms out. Maybe in a tighter ball game, you take a little bit more of a chance, but I'm sure went into that thinking, I can't give up the personal foul.
Absolutely.
Let's get the offense on the field. The offense is, with the exception of the Colin Johnson pick, been unstoppable. So
yeah,
give them a chance.
I definitely think they're going to probably keep this on the ground.
Well, Bullware in the backfield with Johnson has 110 yards on 4 carries. He'll add to that with a 3-yard run up the middle. 6 2nd and 7. And the Cavaliers rotating linemen in. And you talked about this Cummins, being a smaller 2A school. Lee County is a big 3A school in terms of total guys dressed, has a couple more than Cummins. But Cummins, it seems like everybody that's getting significant minutes is playing both ways.
Absolutely, and that's something that is very difficult to do when you're playing against a team with, that's bigger and faster.
All right, Boulware's got a step, breaks another tackle, and stretches just short of another first down. And 3rd and short coming up for the Jackets. Yeah, you can tell there's a bit of a size disparity between the offensive line of the Jackets and this Cavalier defensive line. And given the fact that so many of these guys are playing both ways, the second half you could really see the fatigue set in.
Oh, absolutely. And we still have a long way to go in the first half, so it definitely may set in. And it looks like that
all
may
kinds
be
of movements. It's going to be a matter of
offsides.
who moved first. The officials talking about it. And they've decided that it was the Jackets that drew the movement from that Cavalier defensive line. That'll back them up, make it 3rd and 6. And the Jackets want a timeout to talk about it. And while they do, we'll take a break as well. The 9 minutes left in the first half. Jackets up 28-6 on the Cummins Cavaliers.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
All right, coming out of the timeout, Cavaliers hoping to get a stop here. 3rd and 7 for the Jackets. A.J. Boulware has been the offense thus far. 119 yards on 6 carries. 3rd and 7. Do you give it to him again, or do you try to throw the ball down the field, Gary?
Chris, to be honest with you, it's 3rd and 6. I would definitely pass the ball.
Well, and play action. There's a little comeback. Tim Lett's got it. He's got space. Out, cuts it back up, coughs the ball up, and it's picked out of the air.
Wow, by Ryan Griffiths.
Ryan Griffiths, right man, right guy, right place right there. Tim Lett switching hands, cutting it back, and just fumbled the ball up into the air. And Cummins gets a gift after it looked, for all intents and purposes, like Lee County was going to salt this one away.
And Chris, I was never a running back or wide receiver, but I do know the coach always says, hash number sideline. You never dip back in, and what happens when you do that? Potential defenders can come back and poke the ball out, and that looks like what happened.
Hash number sideline. I like that.
Hash number sideline. It's the fastest way to the end zone is the pylon.
All right, so Cummins will set up at their own 9-yard line. The hand is right up the middle going backwards. He'll be taken down at about the 7 after a loss of a couple.
And it looks like Mr. Malik Graves and Jaden Chalmers are starting to get real personal with one another over there. It's a lot of bump and run coverage now. I think Jaden Chalmers took that to heart about Malik Graves catching a touchdown earlier.
Well, the other piece of that, too, is you got to make him work. I mean, they're going to line him up. He's playing every snap on defense. He's playing special teams as a return man. He's playing every snap on offense. Make him work.
Absolutely.
You know, Lee County has enough athletes that they can allow these guys to specialize a little bit more and take advantage of it. But there are some things schematically you'd kind of like to see them clean up.
Absolutely, and like we discussed earlier, this game right here is where you critique yourself, and right now they have about 10 penalties.
All right,
and
Chris looking to throw tucks it and takes off around the right side, picks up a couple. That's going to bring up 3rd and 9.
And you know, Chris, what I'm also noticing is, you know, as good as Desmond Evans is, I would like to see just a little bit more aggression, just a little bit more out of him. But all in all, the score is 28-6, and without those 2 offensive turnovers, Lee County defense has been pretty stout.
Well, like I said, if you're Coach Bordeaux and that staff, this certainly is not a litmus test for, you know, the rest of their conference schedule, where they're playing teams that are familiar with them, a little bit bigger schools. But in the end, you have to look at it and say, hey, look, we're up 28-6, and we've got some things to clean up. That's sort of a coach's dream.
Absolutely.
You know, that, yeah, we go out, we win a game comfortably, there's no stress, it's not causing my hair to fall out, but at the same time, come Monday, I got plenty to talk about, and, you know, it should be glaringly obvious to these guys they've got some things to clean up. Interesting dynamics at play here, and you know, we talked about it in the pregame. It's not surprising to see this team come out, show some signs of rust. They've got some things they need to clean up, but there is no disputing the quality of the athletes on that Yellow Jacket sideline. They've got some horses.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely got some horses, and I definitely see why they're currently undefeated with some of the playmakers that they have, with their stout defense and a pretty good-sized team.
Well, their style of scheduling doesn't hurt either.
Yeah, absolutely. And
sorry, Jacket fans.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. But the only thing that scares me when you have shaky schedules and things of that nature is potentially you go into postseason play and you meet the big bad wolf.
Well, you know, it's sort of their conference schedule this week or this year sort of lays out well for them. They got Central Harnett and Western Harnett before they get to Union Pines and then ultimately Southern Lee. Oh, I tell you what, Evans came untouched, and wow, look at Malik Graves. Wow, 42 on the reception as he went up over top of 2 defenders. Chris got the ball out of there, and I thought he might get his head removed from his body as Evans came off that left side, but was a step late and maybe fortunate not to get a roughing passer call on the end of that as well. But Cummins is across midfield with 6:50 left in the half. They are in plus territory again.
Chris,
Malik Graves, great play.
That was an impressive pass from Tyrese Chris that stands roughly probably about 5'6" at quarterback, and Malik Graves once again.
I like him.
Why not throw the ball to him every play?
You got to get your LSU guys on the phone. Say, hey, look, I know this kid up here in North Carolina is under the radar. Nice ball player. Nice ball player, and obviously has multi-tools. Or is a multi-tool player.
And you know, Malik Graves is a senior, so you know it kind of makes sense why he's that guy.
You feel like they're just running the ball to set up another long pass to Graves.
Absolutely, got to keep the defense honest at all times.
I'm not sure I wouldn't give Graves the Randy Moss treatment at this point, and put 2 or 3 guys on him and say, look, somebody else has got to beat us. Of course, they had double coverage there just a second ago, and he went up over top of it and beat them both.
And Chris, that is something that will worry me. That you know, with a guy like that with double coverage, not in this game necessarily, but down the road, that is definitely problematic.
All right, Chris takes the snap, drops, pressures right up the middle. He wings it out there, looking for Graves. Graves goes up and makes another catch over top of good coverage. And I just said, they're running the ball to set up the pass to Graves. He's got the ball down to the 22-yard line.
Chris, I think this, you know.
The 27-yard line, excuse me.
It's notated on the roster that Malik Graves is 5'8", but I don't think so. There's no way. It's either he's 5'8" with super hops or so Malik Graves has 4 catches for 112 yards, a touchdown, and interception. I think some college scouts need to come up here to Cummins. if they're not already here.
Having a heck of a ball game.
So now we finally see the safety cheat up more, and
the hand is up the middle, and they've softened it up. Stanfield with a big run.
When Stanfield gets going, he is like a bowling ball coming through the lane. He's knocking all the pins down. So it looks like we have about second down and short. So we do want to apologize on calling.
Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Edwards.
Number 5 for Mr. Cummings is Alden Edwards.
Alden
and not Malik Graves.
Edwards.
Been calling the wrong name.
Malik Graves having a game of his life, but no, it's Alden Edwards. The roster that we were provided is incorrect.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Alden Edwards kid, he is definitely having a great game.
It was the roster height that ultimately gave it away. Alden Edwards, 6'2".
Yeah, I was looking.
175.
I was looking, and I was like, these catches, either he jumps mighty high or he's a lot taller than what the roster says.
Well, and at some point, we'll have to find out what number Malik Graves is wearing. All right, so 5:03 and counting left in the first half. 28-6 Yellow Jackets.
And again, right here, Chris, I would run the ball. Keep them honest. They're going to play too high on Graves in the short distance.
All right, takes a snap.
Quarterback's
rolling. And brought down at the 10-yard line. Gets about half of what he needed.
And for the first time, Chris, there was no pressure on the quarterback. And I think that was almost like a decoy pass route so he can get a running lane.
All right, so 2nd and 5 coming. Counting down toward 4 minutes left in the half.
Lee County has to wake up.
Takes a snap, looking left. Throws it high,
Malik
and there's
Graves
that
touchdown.
man, Alden Edwards.
Alden Edwards
with his second touchdown catch. Contested across the middle of the field. And Cummins has cut this to a 2-score deficit with 3:47 left in the half.
So I'm interested to see what this 2-point conversion call is going to be, because I would be very creative with this, because this is big. You know, this could be possibly 28-14 with 3 minutes and 47 seconds left going to halftime. If you're Cummings, you're feeling pretty good about yourself right now.
This 2-point conversion here is what we categorize as a big deal. This is a big deal. All right, 28-12. Cummins looking to cut it to 28-14.
Chris, this looks like a quick slant to
Man
Mr.
comes
Owens.
in motion.
Option.
Rolls left and flips it high, and that one's broken up, picked off. There's a flag in the backfield. So they've waved it off. There was a holding call. Oh, well, they signaled that the wrong direction. There was a hold against Cummings on the play, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. They would have had to back it up and do it again. But Lee County holds and hangs on to this 16-point lead, and they'll get the ball back here momentarily.
So, Chris, what's your assessment right now you're Lee County on the sideline, scored 28-12, and you're getting ready to go into halftime in regards to what you want to see in this offensive possession?
Well, let's put this in context. Lee County scored 3 touchdowns in the first 3.5 minutes of this ballgame.
This is true.
The rest of the way has managed 1 touchdown, turned the ball over a couple of times. They've given up big plays in the passing game where if they don't know it's coming, they're the only ones in the building that don't.
And they have about 15
so I'm not really
penalties.
excited about I'm not really excited about the performance at all, frankly. And, you know, we sort of poo-pooed it early. Well, we're up 3 scores. We're up a couple scores. At this point, though, you're allowing this to be a ball game in a situation where this thing should be over, and we should be talking about perhaps, you know, well, there's going to be a running clock the rest of the way. So Coach Purdue has probably moved from, okay, this is comfortable, but I've got plenty of stuff to talk about, to now I'm kind of mad.
And you know what? And if I'm Cummins head coach, Chris, I'm putting 8 in the box, and I'm going to say beat me in the air.
Might as well. Bobby Henry corrals it at the 40-yard line. Yellow Jackets will have it. Clock stopped. 28-12 Jackets. And, you know, what's looked a couple of times as though it might be over with is nip-and-tuck ball game. And I tell you what, Cummins has found, at least in the short term, an attack that Lee County doesn't seem to have an answer for.
And to be honest with you, I don't think they're going to be able to stop it unless they get a pass rush.
Well, we'll find out. Colin Johnson back to pass. Throws the bubble screen to Tim Lett. He cuts it back up the middle again. Gary, what'd you say?
Hash number sidelines
Hash
is the
number
fastest
sideline
route to the touchdown.
Well, interesting that they went right back to Lett after he put the ball on the ground a little while ago.
Confidence booster.
Picks up about 6 on the play.
Now, Chris, if you're Cummins, bring the house. 2nd and 6, bring the house.
Well, the only problem with bringing the house is if Bullware gets to the second level,
bring the house, like I said,
breaks
Chris.
the tackle in the backfield, and for one play it worked as he gets no gain. That's the first time they've held him in check yet tonight.
Now you sit back. You sit back and relax and make the tackle. Defensive coach, you run a soft zone. You know they're going to do a bubble screen. The quarterback hasn't proven anything all night. You sit back. They're not going to run the draw. And you make the tackle. You make the tackle, you get the ball back.
Fakes the ball where there's the bubble screen you called. It's going to get him the first down. And the receiver's chopped down after a gain of about 6. That'll be first down. Yellow Jackets into plus territory. Ball at the 47. Call it the 46. First down, Jackets.
And, Chris, right now, if I'm Cummins' defensive coordinator, head coach, I'm like, listen, it's 2 plays being ran. We have a draw, and we have a bubble screen.
Well, we'll see.
Let's make the tackle.
We'll see if that guidance did any good when we get back. Is there a timeout called by Cummins? We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
All right. During the break, quite an animated huddle there on the field with the coaching staff from the Cummins High Cavalier.
For the first time,
a little fire.
A couple playbooks being thrown on the ground, trying to fire the team up because they're saying, guys, you know what's coming. Make the tackle.
Well, it's interesting because you got 2 teams here that in the passing game have been supremely predictable. And, you know, it almost appeared as if the Cummins coaching staff knew what that bubble screen was. And, wow. They're going to get I think they're going to get an equipment. Is there an equipment issue? Yes. He's got a necklace on.
Mr. Less.
And that's going to cost him 15 yards.
I think we have a situation where These kids think they're in the NFL.
Yeah, this is high school. That's a safety issue. And good eyes by the referee to catch it.
And now, Chris, this isn't a good situation either for an offense that is not proving anything. Oh, wow. Look who we see at wide receiver.
Desmond Evans checks into the game out wide left.
And he's 6'6", going against a corner who is off.
And guess who they're rolling out there?
This is what I want to see.
Alton Edwards out there now has the coverage on Desmond Evans.
And this is the matchup.
Premium matchup here. All right, there's another bubble screen.
Make the tackle.
Yeah, got to tackle.
And don't
got to tackle, and it's all coming back. It is all coming back as Jordan Chalmers takes it, makes a man miss.
It's all coming back.
And gets loose. But they're going to get a hold on the play. They're talking about it. I think they're working on the spot right now.
Chris,
what are they getting here?
It's definitely a flag on the play. It's coming back. It's not a touchdown.
All right. Well, after the conference, the official went over to the Lee County sideline and signaled touchdown, but obviously that's not the case since they've already marched it back. If this is a spot foul, that's one thing. And that appears to be what they're doing is marking it off. Those change direction plays, you got to think it's a block in the back.
Well, Chris, this is what I'm going to say. If I know my math isn't the best, but this is about penalty 16 or 17.
It seems like it. It seems like it's penalty number 40
for Lee County. And I understand 2 weeks of rest, but this is a little bit
gotta clean
absurd
it up.
at this
Gotta
point.
clean it up. All right, Evans stays in the game at receiver. Edwards not on him this time. Edwards going to take the slot man.
Edwards going to take the slot to watch the bubble screen.
All right, and there's the hand to Boulware. Boulware gets tripped up and gets a couple. And that'll bring up second and 14. And clock ticking down toward 2 minutes left in the half.
And it appears that Lee County has Evans out there.
Well, they didn't put him out there to be a decoy the whole time. They're going to throw the ball to him here.
Oh, eventually. Absolutely, but at least Cummins have too high on him.
All right, there's the hand to Boulware. Boulware breaks
tackle.
a couple of tackles into the secondary, spins and picks up about 16. Late flag comes in. Let's see what we got. This is moving quickly from the ridiculous to the sublime.
Looks like we have another holding penalty. The big guys up top, the big guys up front, they got to keep their thumbs inside. As soon as you move your thumbs to the outside, they're going to call holding every time. You're okay once you're inside of the chest plate. Can't put them thumbs on the outside. And it looks like Evans is exiting the game.
So again, we're back in second and something teen territory. We'll call it second and 13. Clock stopped 1:54. Your Lee County Yellow Jackets up. Almost feels like nursing a 2-touchdown lead, up 28-12.
Yeah, it's
All right, Lett checks back in the game without his necklace on. Boulware takes the handoff and gets about 5. We'll bring up 3rd and long. We'll call it 3rd and 8 as the clock continues to run.
Chris, run the zone and make the tackle. They do that, they get the ball back.
Well, and given the way this offense has been running for Cummins, they're one play away from scoring. All right, Johnson fakes, throws the bubble screen for the 40th time today. And broken tackles, and Lee County has a first down after about a 10-yard gain. And
another flag.
There's a block in the back. I'm be interested. Is this maybe a post-possession foul? Let's see what the call is. All right, while the Cummins medical staff attends to the injured player, we'll take a quick break. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week on WBFT Channel 46 in Sanford, North Carolina, and around the world, even in Austin, Texas.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
All right, so the player's still down. And, these bubble screens, Lee County keeps running them over and over and over again. And yes, they are working, but, yes, they are yielding penalties almost every time. There was the one big game. I don't think that anything good really has come out of one yet. No. Tim Lett had the one down the left sideline that
led to a fumble.
And since then we've seen what seems like an endless run of them, each resulting in a penalty. This one may have resulted in an injury, and that's why those peel-back blocks are illegal.
Absolutely, and that's why they have now gotten rid of that. Back in the day, everybody used to say that's just good, hard-nosed football, but
I'll tell you what, they're in the NFL right now, and in college football as well. There's a lot of emphasis on player safety. There's been a lot of rule changes, and I'm going to tell you, anybody that says that a crackback block is just good, hard football had never been crackback.
I completely agree with you. It is not fun.
It's one thing to say you got to keep your head on a swivel, but when you are literally blindsided by a free runner, there's nothing like it.
It is not fun.
Nothing like it in the world. And don't think that offensive players don't know that too. I mean, I've been on the other end of that too, and everything just sort of slows down, and you realize he's not going to see me coming.
It's your opportunity to hit somebody back if you play offense.
Yeah, before CTE and the rest of that, I can remember playing even through high school and thinking, the best hit is one that knocks somebody's helmet off.
Absolutely.
And we weren't trying to hit him in the head. You're trying to hit him in the torso hard enough
where the helmet pops off.
That helmet pops off?
Absolutely.
All right.
They say knock the snot out of them.
Yeah. All right, Lee County now third and about 17 as they continue to go forward and backwards. Johnson drops, going down the field. Got a man. Can he hit him? That's a touchdown, Lee County. Terrius Alston on the catch, and that is something we hadn't seen from Lee County yet.
That's what you call blowing the top off.
Well, you come out of a timeout with a play call like that, that'll make right a lot of things that have gone wrong today.
And that was a good play call. Cummins had no safety help. They were playing pretty much man, tight coverage.
Well, frankly, since Lee County hadn't completed a ball down the field yet anyway, not a whole lot of reason up to this point to give any safety help. They were selling out, trying to help do something in that run game. Trey Underwood did a good job of adjusting to a bad snap, bad hold, but gets it through for his 5th extra point, and Lee County stretches it out to 35-12. We'll come back for the kickoff following these messages.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
All right, Lee County. I'd say it's been a tale of two quarters, but it hasn't. It's been, drive after drive. There's been really good and really bad, and not a whole lot in between from the Jackets so far tonight. But in the end, they are up 35-12 with less than a minute left in the first quarter. And although,
the score is 35-12, it's not as clean as you would imagine. That score is deceiving. It's definitely a lot of things that need to be discussed in the locker room for Lee County as well as Cummins.
All right, well, they kick it away from – wow. All right, so the return man falls on it just outside the 5-yard line. And now both teams with some decisions to make. Cummins, how aggressive do you get? And Lee County use timeouts a little bit to try to get one more possession out of this half.
Chris, I'm going to be honest with you. I would give it a shot, you know, to throw the ball to your best player on the field, but you have to be wary when you have that pass rush coming. You can't risk a fumble on this side of the field or a turnover at this standpoint with only 52 seconds left. So, you know, you be conservative and run the ball, try to air it out once. But it looks like
Edwards has got man coverage out there on the left side.
I don't understand it.
And running all the way. And gets it out across the 10-yard line. Clock continues to run now, and Cummins looks like they're going to carry this into the half, unless they're playing possum.
Well, Chris, you know.
And frankly, now that you've seen that Lee County's going to come out and still not give any more respect to number 5 out there.
That's an audible.
Take a shot.
As you know, at some point I understand on the high school level, but if you're the quarterback in this ball game, you're down 35-12, your best player got man-to-man, you got to check at the line.
All right, Edwards again split out wide left. Again, man coverage. And the safety shades around to the other side of the field, which, you know, interesting. All right, the hand goes around the left. It's Stanfield. Stanfield running hard, going to be brought down short of the first down. That'll bring up 3rd and about 4 as we go to double zeros in the end of the first half. Lee County 35, Cummins Cavaliers 12. We'll be back and talk about some numbers and what we've seen in the first half after these messages. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week on WBFT Channel 46.
For decades, residents of Lee County have trusted First Health of the Carolinas to provide quality health care to the Sandhills region. First Health is excited to expand services offered in Lee County with the opening of the new First Health Lee campus located at 2919 Beech Tree Drive in Sanford. The newest First Health campus includes a 25,000 square foot fitness center with an indoor walking track, saltwater pool, weight area, cardio equipment, Les Mills group exercise classes, and so much more. Also offered within the fitness center are physical therapy and cardiac rehabilitation services. The 40,000 square foot medical office building includes a primary care practice, convenient care, outpatient imaging and laboratory services, back and neck pain, and a variety of surgical specialties. For more information about the new First Health Lee campus, visit our website at www.firsthealth.org or call 1-800-213-3284.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
It's game day at Classic Nissan.
I'm Mike Stozer, General Manager at Classic Nissan here at Sanford. My team of professionals have every position covered to meet all of your automotive needs.
The starting lineup. Your captains on offense, number 5, Holden Cruz. And number 10, Jasmine Dole. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandrin. Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
Nobody beats a classic deal.
Official Caro sponsor.
For online banking made easy, there's only one choice, First Bank. Online banking, checking accounts for business and family to fit every need, including mobile banking, no-fee traveler's checks, and money orders, and so much more. First Bank is conveniently located on Spring Lane, South Corner in Sanford, and North Main and Broadway. First Bank is your progressive community bank.
Hi, I'm Dave Sheep here at First Bank. I feel like we've got all the right people in the right place to serve your banking needs now and in the future.
Are you ready to sell or buy? Call me, Crystal Copas, to assist you with that real estate transaction. Residential, commercial, or investment properties? With the RE/MAX brand and my highly efficient team, I'm your go-to girl with all the things in real estate.
We just love our new house in Broadway.
And it was made possible by Crystal Copas, who sold our previous home in only 3 days. And I promise you, she'll work just as hard for you.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
US One Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep presents Halftime Report on WBFT.
Oh, welcome to the US One Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Jeep halftime show. I'm Chris Delambert. This is Gary Bush. Cavaliers up 35-12, but plenty to talk about at halftime for the Yellow Jackets.
Absolutely. The Yellow Jackets are up 35-12, but I stopped counting after about 15 penalties.
A lot of laundry on the field today.
Right, yeah, 2 offensive turnovers. But you had the upside is, you had a great run game. On a running back has about, 6 carries, 100
Yeah, we'll add them. Yeah, we're sitting on about 130 yards. Here's the thing, is a lot of times when you're talking about a team with an excessive number of penalties in a half or in a game, sometimes we're a little critical of the officials. We're watching these.
Yeah.
I mean, these are clear, and there's a couple things in particular. First of all, pre-snap, been 3 different face mask penalties.
Absolutely.
A couple other personal fouls thrown in there. The blocks in the back that have come on those bubble screens pretty consistently. You've just got to clean that up. You may be able to get out of here with a W and get away with that tonight, but you run up in Union Pines, or you give Southern Lead breaks like that. You get into the playoffs, they'll come back to haunt you. So you've got 6-8 weeks to work this out, but this is something Coach Purdue and his staff, I'm sure, are keenly laser focused on right now.
And as well as I know that Lee County is probably pretty happy right now that not too many other teams are coming out here to scout this game, because if so, that secondary has some problems.
Well, that depends. Alden Edwards, who we wrongly called Malik Graves off first half almost, but Alden Edwards has really been a force that Lee County hasn't had an answer for. Now, whether or not other teams have an athlete that is that good and they can get him the ball remains to be seen, but I think we're going to see a healthy dose of Edwards in the second half for Cummins. I'm sure that in the halftime break they're trying to scheme a game plan, figure out more ways to get him down the field, get the ball in his hands. And if you're Lee County, what they did early on worked, and then they just kind of got away from it. And I don't know if they kind of looked and said, all right, we've checked that block, let's see what else we can do with it. But I said in the intro that I was confident that Coach Purdue would make them stop what was working. Well, A.J. Boulware has run at will on this Cummins defense for the most part, and when they've committed to it and stayed with it, they've moved the ball down the field. It's when they've done other things where they've struggled. So coming into the second half, there isn't a great deal of value in coming out here and Boulware putting up another 150 yards and then winning by 5 or 6 touchdowns. Maybe we see the offense try to create and establish some other ways to do it. I don't know. We'll see.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US 1. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US 1 for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US 1.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
It's game day at Classic Nissan.
I'm Mike Stozer, General Manager at Classic Nissan here at Sanford. My team of professionals have every position covered to meet all of your automotive needs.
The starting lineup. Your captains on offense, number 5, Holden Cruz. And number 10, Jasmine Dole. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandrin. Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
Nobody beats a classic deal.
Official Caro sponsor.
For decades, residents of Lee County have trusted First Health of the Carolinas to provide quality health care to the Sandhills region. First Health is excited to expand services offered in Lee County with the opening of the new First Health Lee campus located at 2919 Beech Tree Drive in Sanford. The newest First Health campus includes a 25,000 square foot fitness center with an indoor walking track, saltwater pool, weight area, cardio equipment, Les Mills group exercise classes, and so much more. Also offered within the fitness center are physical therapy and cardiac rehabilitation services. The 40,000 square foot medical office building includes a primary care practice, convenient care, outpatient imaging and laboratory services, back and neck pain, and a variety of surgical specialties. For more information about the new First Health Lee campus, visit our website at www.firsthealth.org or call 1-800-213-3284.
For online banking made easy, there's only one choice, First Bank. Online banking, checking accounts for business and family to fit every need, including mobile banking, no-fee traveler's checks, and money orders, and so much more. First Bank is conveniently located on Spring Lane, South Corner, and Sanford, and North Main and Broadway. First Bank is your progressive community bank.
Hi, I'm David Bashir. Here at First Bank, I feel like we've got all the right people in the right place to serve your banking needs now and in the future.
Are you ready to sell or buy? Call me, Crystal Copas, to assist you with that real estate transaction. Residential, commercial, or investment properties? With the RE/MAX brand and my highly efficient team, I'm your go-to girl with all the things in real estate.
We just love our new house in Broadway.
And it was made possible by Crystal Copas, who sold our previous home in only 3 days. And I promise you, she'll work just as hard for you.
Are you ready for some football only on WBFT? Welcome to the Classic Nissan Game of the Week.
But we're down to the field for the second half kickoff. Cummins will receive, and it's a high spinning kick. Edwards is going to take it on a hop, brings it around the right side. Looking and heads straight out of bounds at around the 20-yard line where Cummins will take over first and 10, excuse me.
Yeah, I'm real interested.
And there is a Yellow Jacket player down on the field grasping at his lower leg. And we've had an awful lot of injuries this evening. No reports from the sideline on either side about what the extent of those were.
Yeah, I'm real interested to see how Cummins come out and see if they're going to try to attack once again. And like we were saying before, we were calling Austin the wrong name for majority of the game. Alden Edwards, the wrong name for majority of the game, but the kid is 6'3", and believe it or not, he's only a junior. So, you know, playing against teams like this, hopefully he's able to have some good tape to put out there, because this kid could definitely be somebody you hear about.
Well, he could play for a lot of teams, and here's the thing: is guys like that, you don't necessarily have to look at him and say, you know what, can he come out into my program and play wide receiver? You're looking at a kid with a frame like that, 6'2", 185, 190 pounds probably. That's pretty prototypical to play a lot of different places on a football field. And when you've got guys that have that kind of instincts, that kind of athleticism, even if his future isn't as a receiver on Saturdays playing college football, I would think that there are some schools somewhere that look at a young man like that and they're like, you know what, we could mold him into something, doing something productive on our football team. And that read option, wrong read, and big loss for the Cummins Cavaliers as Crisp is thrown down in the backfield and probably should have let that one go to the back on his way through.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm definitely interested once again to see how Lee County comes out. You know, if they kind of got that air beating and get back into some disciplined football and make some plays.
Well, Stanfield had a couple of big runs up the middle, but for the most part, it was -2 and -3 per carry. The couple of times he did get loose.
And here it goes early.
And there comes a sack all the way back close to the goal line. Now, forward progress is going to have him out there at about the, the 4 or 5 yard line. But that pressure, Lee County is, they play with a little bit of fire in their belly.
Absolutely, as they should.
Of course, there's a flag on the play. Let's see what the call is.
Far sideline.
I actually think it was pre-snap motion on Cummins that wasn't whistled, and I don't know how they could call this now a procedure penalty. It looked like a false start from the slot receiver that was down here. But we'll see what the officials say as they talk it out.
And based on that play, it looked like they tried to get Alden once again one-on-one. And it looks like Lee County had brought the heat, though, that time, and quarterback had no time to set in the pocket.
All right, so they are calling motion, and I assume that they are calling that a pre-snap penalty.
Yes, I believe so. It should be first down, about 15.
So I guess, they called it a pre-snap penalty, but didn't blow the play dead. So Mr. Crisp got thrown to the ground for nothing there. That play didn't count. Crisp is back. Pressure's in his face immediately. Throws it out. Got a man. Nice tackle out there at the 16-yard line.
And that was a catch by Mr. Sincere Whitted.
He had some room to run
but
had he been able to break the tackle. But yeah, he nice good wrap-up tackle there. That'll bring up third and about 13. And this is the down and distance Cummins, I'm sure, at the half wanted to stay out of. We've said it all night, but keep your eyes on number 5. This has been their bread and butter. When they have attempted to push the ball down the field, there have been several 3rd and longs where they've just kind of given up and run the ball up the middle for a
We haven't heard his
game.
name tonight. Shamiri Rogers, number 23, wide receiver. He stands about 6'2", junior as well. So
Edwards all alone. Chris rolling the other direction is going to keep it, and there's a horse collar coming out, and that'll be yet another personal foul.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Wait a minute. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, no.
Said grabbed me by his shoulder.
Lee County's going to dodge a bullet, and they're going to have to go explain that to the Cummins sidelines, and they buying whatever he's selling. So no horse collar. And that would have been a big play because that was an automatic first down coming. So after all of that, looks like Cummins will punt. And this, I don't know that I've ever seen as much pressure on a punter repeatedly without a block kick. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not even attempting to be funny. Punt protection for Cummins has been quite an adventure tonight, but Lee County hadn't been able to come up with a block, and they don't get it that time either. Great job by the punter at getting that kick out. It's going to roll dead just short of midfield. He's a magician.
Definitely. The kick was
Carlos Beltran, and I honestly have no idea how he's gotten the last couple of those punts out of there, but he has. And instead of a big splash play on special teams, pretty uneventful for the Jackets, and they'll take over at the 47 after a decent kick.
So is Lee County going to do the Old Faithful? Or would you like to see some execution?
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised that nobody besides Bulware has gotten any carries tonight. You know, if you're going to keep running the same thing with Bulware, that's cool. Well, and they're going to pitch to Bulware, who tries to go back to the middle of the field where he likes it, gets out to the sideline, breaking tackle after tackle after tackle, and finally forced out of bounds at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah.
That's 27 on the carry, and you know, he is not a particularly big guy, but boy, he runs hard.
He must have bathed in oil today because everybody's falling off of him.
5'10", 170, and he hasn't been tackled by the first man yet.
Absolutely not. And majority of his yards is coming after the first
Absolutely
tackle.
Is. You know, it's not a strategic flaw by Cummins as Colin Johnson steps up, eludes a rush, picks up a couple. And Lee County bound and determined to push the ball down the field.
That was Alden Edwards with the pressure.
But A.J. Bulware has just broken tackle after tackle after tackle, and that's got to be mind-numbing for the defensive coordinator over there for Cummins, who's like, I've got the guys in the right place. They just have to execute and make a tackle.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most frustrating things as a coach, when you have the players in place, but you can't make the tackle for them.
All right, Johnson with Bulware in the backfield. A little shuffle pass. Bulware breaks a tackle and then spins forward down close to the 15. That'll bring up second and short.
And once again, we have Alden Edwards on the tackle.
So where do people contact you to join the Alden Edwards fan club? Since you apparently are the president. A lot to like about this young guy. He's he's doing his thing on both sides of the football.
The kid's making all the plays.
He is. And coming up, did a good job not putting a lick on Colin Johnson that time. Came off the right edge. And Johnson throws an incompletion to bring up third and short here in the red zone. Jackets looking to capitalize and stretch out this 35-12 lead.
You know, Chris, if I'm one of these schools like, North Carolina A&Ts and your Centrals and those sorts of schools, you got to seep out to games like this. Find diamonds in the rough.
Well, they can just talk to us, man. We'll put in a call to Central and see. All right, Bulware up the middle. Bulware's going to score a touchdown. And now it's almost as if they don't want to tackle him. Bulware, good hard run, and goes in from 17 yards out.
So, if I'm
and
not
his
mistaken,
third touchdown of the day.
he's having an impressive game.
Yes, he is, sir. Yes, he is.
So far, seems like whatever was said in the locker room, Lee County is taking that to heart, and they came out firing on all cylinders.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Yellow Jackets up 42-12, 7:28 left in the third quarter.
This is a crisis alert from Save the Children. Hurricane Florence has slammed the East Coast, causing massive destruction. Millions are affected by this disaster. Families have lost everything. Children's lives have been turned upside down. They're frightened and need to feel safe again. Save the Children is on the ground with emergency response teams and critical supplies to help families in need. To learn how you can help, go online at savethechildren.org.
All right, welcome back. Coverage of the Lee County Yellow Jackets and Cummins High School Cavaliers here in Burlington, North Carolina, on a beautiful night for football. Up and down performance from the Yellow Jackets, but in the end they're up 42-12, 7:28 left in the third quarter. Cummins looking for some answers and looking quick, trying to get back into this ball game. So A.J. Boulware capped the last Jackets drive with a touchdown run. Unofficially 11 carries, 171 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And I don't think anybody else has played a snap at tailback for the Jackets yet.
Absolutely not. No one else has touched the ball, and it's almost a why should they?
Well, looking at almost 16 yards a carry. Here's the return from Cummins. Cummins gang tackled and stopped short of the 15-yard line. Cummins offense will trot back on, led by Tyrese Crisp. If you're just tuning in, the offense has been limited for Cummins today. The lone bright spot's been Alden Edwards, who has 2 long catches, including, several catches. 2 of those long catches, 2 of them for touchdowns. But Cummins has not been able to sustain the run all night. And other than a couple blips on the radar, the passing game has been frustrating for them because of all the pressure applied by that defensive front. Lee County able to create a lot of havoc up front without having to send blitzers, and that's tough to game plan.
That is always a difficult thing for
and as has been the case on most of those attempts up the middle, a loss of a couple on first down. 2nd and 12 coming.
It's an offensive coordinator's nightmare, and it's a defensive coordinator's dream that a 4-man rush can get pressure on the quarterback.
You do have to admire the sort of, I don't know, stick-to-itiveness of the Cummins staff, because they've not been deterred. It's pretty much been that run on first down all night. They're going to establish it one way or the other, I suppose. They might have to play 16 quarters of football to do it, but we have seen it pay off with a couple of big runs up the middle, but for the most part, it's literally been running into a brick wall. Here it comes. Crisp drops. Pressure coming. Short pass. Throws out, and I think we're going to get a hold. I think we're going to get a hold on the Cavaliers there. We've seen all manner of penalty tonight, in particular on the Jackets, but the one that might be my personal favorite tonight is the equipment violation for the necklace. That was something you don't get to see every day.
He had a Michael Crabtree moment.
Was it Reggie Roby, the old punter for the Dolphins that used to wear the Rolex?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Might be a little before your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the punter for the Miami Dolphins back in the day. Actually, was a Pro Bowl punter many times over. But, yeah, on occasion would rock the Rolex on the field.
I wonder what his philosophy was.
Punters get paid too, and all I'm doing is kicking the ball.
And ice in my veins.
Yes. All right, we'll call it 3rd and 12. Crisp surveys the defense. Mr. Edwards down here by himself. They're looking the other way over the middle. That ball's going to fall short and incomplete and bring up 4th down deep in their own territory for Cummins.
And once again,
and this is the first time we've seen some hesitancy. And now finally they've decided they're going to send the punt team on. A couple of times early in this game we thought maybe this is 4-down territory. They hadn't been tempted yet. That's as close as they got. But in the end, they're going to send Beltran back out. And again, they continue to build upon what I say is the most pressure ever put on a punter in a game of football in the history of the sport without a block punt. And this is a high snap. That's bad news. And that one's blocked. And that's going to be falling on before it goes out of the back of the end zone. It's touchdown for the Jackets.
And that is who you call Mr.
That's Desmond Evans on the play. Got the block, the recovery, and the touchdown. That is a trifecta. That was sort of inevitable, but the snap, you can't put that one on Beltran. The snap was well over his head. He did a good job just to pick it up. But in that instance, sometimes, you wish you could get inside their head. He might have been better served just to let it go out of the back of the end zone, but put in a tough spot. The Jackets special teams come through and extend their lead. Now 48-12, 6:14 left in the quarter. And Trey Underwood on for his 7th extra point of the night.
And Chris, I think you might have jinxed the Cummins kicker.
Hold is down. The kick is up and right down the middle. And the Jackets are out in front by 37 halfway through the 3rd quarter. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week.
Are you ready to sell or buy? Call me, Crystal Copas, to assist you with that real estate transaction. Residential, commercial, or investment properties. With the RE/MAX brand and my highly efficient team, I'm your go-to girl with all the things in real estate.
We just love our new house in Broadway.
And it was made possible by Crystal Copas, who sold our previous home in only 3 days. And I promise you, she'll work just as hard for you.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
All right, welcome back. Chris Delambert, Gary Bush here on a beautiful night in Burlington, North Carolina. Couple of acknowledgments. Wanted to say thank you to Wynn Crazley, who's running the production, the direction, the spotting, and everything else tonight, doing a heck of a job. And I'm sure, I haven't seen the product. We're running without a monitor tonight, but I'm sure making everything look beautiful. Gary, you should come on the air sometime with us. You can hear me every Wednesday on radio, streaming, podcast, every imaginable platform on a show called From the Cheap Seats. We're out there every Wednesday from 9 to 11. The easiest way for you to find it is via the iTunes podcast app. But tune in. We talk a little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's boy, I tell you what, either a really good play by the Cummins return team or a really bad play. You have to take a look at it. The return was muffed there, did a good job to fall on it. However, fell on it at the 1 yard line. Now, in a lot of circumstances, you're like, well, at least we didn't turn the ball over there. The fact that almost every first down play Cummins has run has been for negative yardage would give you pause here. Ordinarily, you say, hey, just hand it up the middle. We'll get a couple yards and try to get out from the shadow of these goalposts.
But you can't
That's
do
been
that.
the toughest thing for them to do this evening.
It's because of that stout front four. And
well, and they're going to have their ears pinned back at this point.
Absolutely. They're going to bring the house.
All right, some substitutions in there. Evans out of the game.
Rightfully so at this point.
All right, now under center for the first time all night, Chris, almost drew an offsides, doesn't, and is stacked up, is not going to get out of the end zone, and that, sir,
safety.
Is a safety.
It was a fumble on the snap. And,
well, you know what? My biggest pet peeve is that in short yardage situations, football teams stay in the gun. However,
in that situation, I would have stayed in the gun.
It's hard to teach a young quarterback to do two different things well. So, you know, it's a catch-22. I actually am a proponent of going under center. That's just a tough spot for a team that's gotten dominated up front all day. And now the heads are starting to hang on that Cummins sidelines. And this one could get out of hand pretty quickly as Lee County stretches that lead to 51-12 and now gets the ball back in what you would assume is pretty good field position.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, the train has now went off the tracks. And Cummins, you know, they put up a good fight. You know, there was a lot of mistakes made by Lee early on, but so far it's been a pretty flawless second half.
Gary, you a chicken wing aficionado? You're a fan of chicken?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. You should come out every Monday during the football season to Zaxby's at 7 o'clock in Sanford, North Carolina. We host the Lee County Football Coaches Show. That's not Lee County High School coach. We used to do two separate shows, but we decided to bring, you know, our favorite things together. And I will be on hand with Coach Steve Perdue of the Lee County Yellow Jackets, and then Coach Ken Neal from Southern Lee High School. And there's a little bit of silliness going on out there at midfield.
With your with Desmond Evans, he got a pancake and laid on him.
Yeah, that was something.
You know, I was looking on Max Preps. I can't think of the high school or the guy, but he carries around syrup. And when his offensive lineman makes a pancake, they get a squirt of it in their mouth. It's pretty cool. You should look it up.
I will definitely have to check that out.
So he said for every pancake, they get a syrup shot.
I like it. I like it. All right, so Lee County takes over at their own 35, up 39 with 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And it looks like both teams have pulled their starters. Well, no, actually.
Well,
I digress.
If you're wondering, here's the situation. Bullware's got it one more time.
Whoa.
Just breaking another tackle. Whoa. There's 15-20. He might take it all the way. A.J. Bullware with an unbelievably impressive 65-yard touchdown. He's just not going to be taken down, and it's coming back again.
It was a holding, but that run is what you put on your highlight tape. He ran the guy over and did not stop his stride, and it showed his speed down the sideline for the touchdown. He's this is what you call your highlight tape game. He could pull about 12 plays out of this game to put on his highlight. They're going to say, dang, is all his plays against the blue jerseys?
Well, he'll have plenty of other colored jerseys to put up highlights again as the year goes on, I am certain. 5'10", 170 pounds.
So, Chris, after a great run like that, I think you do it again.
As one of my favorite artists said once, yo, homeboy, might as well.
We got a guy cramped
There's a cramp on the Cummins side. And that's forgivable. That's forgivable. That's a man that has played a lot of football tonight.
That's Tykill Stanfield. He's played a lot of ball tonight.
Yeah, double duty at middle linebacker and tailback. Yeah. I tell you, to be young, I can't even imagine playing more than about 6 snaps before I died at this point in my life. But these guys, 17, 18 years old, man, got all the energy in the world. But there's a limit to even that. While they stretch them out, we'll take a quick break.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US One. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US One for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US One.
Our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
U.S. taxpayer expense.
All right, welcome back as the Jackets look to add a couple of points here. For those of you at home that are wondering, the running clock threshold in high school football games in the state of North Carolina is 40 points. Currently, Lee County's up 39. So with a score here, the clock would run and not stop except on changes of possession. All right, Johnson looking, scrambling, avoids the big sack, and now actually has positive yardage, makes his way to the sideline, going to be dragged out about 25, and that's an excellent individual effort by Colin Johnson. That might be his nicest play of the night.
Absolutely. He showed that he can move.
Got some wiggle to him, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely got a little wiggle to him. I was not expecting it, to be honest with you.
All right, so 1st and 10, just inside the 25 for the Jackets. Clock running down to about 4 minutes left here in the third quarter.
And Chris, us being a tough critic because we kind of knew the dynamics of this game before it came in. Again, second half they were coming out playing pretty clean football. Lee County is, and now you're starting to see why who they are.
All right, Bullware's got it and is going to go untouched from 24 yards into the end zone. Touchdown, Jackets. And now you're on a running clock.
Yeah, with that one right there.
That's his 4th touchdown of the night. Puts him well over 200 yards.
And, I feel like right now, if you're Lee County and guys like A.J. Boulware, I know he has some teams looking at him and things of that nature, but it's pretty fun whenever you got a guy like Desmond Evans, who everybody in the country is kind of looking at. So that sort of excitement to be able to produce on offense the way they're doing tonight and showing their muscles as they should in a situation like this. But I have to say, Cummins definitely made this game very interesting in the first half, and they're a young team.
Both teams. You can say the same thing about both of these. You look up and down the roster, just not a lot of seniors on either team.
Yeah.
Sort of the running joke last year was that Lee County's JV was the second best team in the conference. Given what these young men are doing out here now, that's quite possibly a true statement. So the future is bright for this Lee County team as Coach Steve Perdue, sort of gets acclimated this first year. Hadn't been on the job long. And, installing his system, I know he's excited to be here, and there's a buzz about the program. This stretches us out to 5-0. Looking forward, nobody wants to get ahead of themselves. But this team could put up a nice record by the time it's all said and done. All right, the return man taken down at the 10-yard line. We have just been informed that on that last drive, 5 games into the season, A.J. Boulware now has 1,032 yards.
If you're college scouts, your attendance go up, and you're coming to Lee County to come watch some talent.
Well, and doing this as a junior, you know, even the laziest of scouting departments know those numbers you can't ignore. So somebody will be round from the program to see him at some point. You know, Jameer Smith left Lee County last year after having been offered literally all across the country, and actually got his first collegiate carries this weekend for Notre Dame in the Wake Forest game.
And, you know, coming in as a high school coach, you know, your ultimate goal is, of course, to win ball games, but it's to get these guys to the next level. And with a guy like Mr. Smith at Notre Dame, who had all of that national attention, the school is kind of on the map. And it's about creating a pipeline. And now they have another big-name guy, Desmond Evans. And now you have a running back like an A.J. Boulware. This gives opportunities to these guys year in and year out. That some of these guys who may have not gotten the opportunity, they will get opportunities. You'll end up having the entire offense, you know, going Division III, Division II, Division I, just because they're a pipeline.
Well, and I would be remiss if I didn't give at least a mention that the starting quarterback from 2 years ago for this Yellow Jacket team, Jory Perkins, is at NC State on the depth chart as a quarterback. At this point, it's a little bit of ways down that depth chart, but you can't ever become the starter if you don't start somewhere. So one of these days, Yellow Jackets may have the starting quarterback at NC State. We'll see how that all shakes out. Absolutely. But you make an excellent point, is that it doesn't take but a player or two before that school's on the map, and now all of a sudden you've got these kids that are getting a little bit more attention than they would have otherwise. And there goes Crisp with a nice run out there across, got first down yardage out to about the 30-yard line. And these Cummins Cavaliers, no give up in them.
Yeah, and Tyrese Crisp is a pretty big kid. You know, he's a sophomore. He's 5'11", 200 pounds at quarterback. You know, kind of his, based on what I've been watching tonight, you know, he has a pretty good arm, strong arm, and looks like he stays focused and stays in the game, you know, keeps his head, and that's what it takes to be a quarterback. But like we were saying before, this is what creates perennial powerhouses. It's about winning, but it's also about the guys you produce and who goes to the next level. I was just looking, and Glenville actually has a documentary coming out, and Glenville is a top high school in Cleveland, Ohio, who has currently 8 active guys in the NFL.
Wow.
And, you know, and when you look at them, every year you look at Ohio State's roster, it's a Glenville guy. You know, you look at a Michigan State roster, it's a Glenville guy. And that's the sort of thing that Lee County wants to do, you know. And if they continue to pump these guys out the way they're doing, they could be a perennial powerhouse here.
All right, Cummins comes to the line.
So at this point, we have trips right.
Crisp looking right. Got a man. Low throw takes him down to the ground. Did he reel that in? Yeah, but not much. Might have actually lost a yard on the play. Yeah, so they're going to actually lost about 2, which bring up 3rd and a couple.
And you know, Chris, this is when the game is really fun for, you know, Lee County, because the young guys get to get in. Your sophomores, your JV players who probably play tomorrow morning, they get an opportunity to get some reps on in Friday Night Lights, and a lot of these kids have dreamed for this moment, so it's always good to see that and see them go play as hard as possible to get some of those coaches' attention, because they're the next people up, they're the next guys up. So it's good to get some reps. It's good to get on that field, you know, and get that experience of being underneath the lights, because at any time when your number's called, you got to be ready to go.
Waxing poetic tonight. You're spitting. Amen. We're
You got it?
All right, so while the officials try to sort this out, we'll take a quick break and come back with the fourth quarter. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week on WBFT Channel 46.
16 carries.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
Yeah, it might be that time.
All right, welcome back. 12 minutes of football left. Lee County Yellow Jackets up 58-12, so the clock will start and not stop.
You know what, Chris? Something that I do have to credit. Coming out here supporting Cummins, the stands are still full.
Yeah, nobody's left.
The cheerleaders are still going hard as if the game is the tie, and that's the sort of atmosphere that keeps these guys coming out week in and week out to play because they know they have support. And look
Alden Edwards with a jump ball opportunity takes it in, stiff arms, and I tell you what.
You know what, Chris? I might have to start texting some of my college friends and say, I might have a diamond in the rough for you named at Cummins.
42 yards on the catch for Alden Edwards, who is just unstoppable when the ball's in the air.
Somebody got some his catches in yards.
7 for 167 and a pair of touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. That's a game right there. Do he got anybody looking at him? Like recruiting him, right? Oh. Yeah.
Gary forgot we're on the air, but he's excited. He's trying to. He's in touch with folks in Pennsylvania right now. Hey, I got a guy.
Yeah.
There's a little recruiting impropriety between friends.
Yeah, man. It's always exciting to see raw talent like that, and he's a basketball guy actually.
Well, you can tell the way he goes up and high points the ball. He's fearless in there. He challenges everything. That's a good-looking ball player.
Especially
on a night where we have seen plenty of good-looking ball players showcased.
Oh, absolutely. If he, I just put it to you like this, Chris. A team like UNC right now, they need to be up here looking at this guy.
UNC right now has got an awful lot of things they need to be looking at and for. And
Miami beat up on them yesterday.
I tell you.
I can't talk too much. They beat up on Pitt last week, which was ridiculous.
Well, even in that win against Pitt, ball's out again. And, I tell you what, it's finally recovered there by Cummings. But I tell you what, that looked for about 3 seconds as if it was going to be a touchdown going the other way as Bobby Henready was coming and had nobody between him and the end zone. But not quite able to get there, about a step slow. All right, so clock continue to run 9:38. Yet another negative play for this Cummings offense.
Chris, again, some of the fun things about back in the day playing ball, I had a friend, and he used to always say, you might play defensive line, but athletes score touchdowns. So when you see the ball, you scoop and score. We don't jump on it. We scoop and score.
I like that. Chris takes the snap. Wow, stood in there and took a shot. Can't find his receiver. And I tell you, Chris, he's taking a beating today.
And also, we have talked a whole lot tonight about Desmond Evans, but Jaden Covington, the other defense end.
Yes, sir.
He has been all over the field. And, when you have 2 strong rush ends like that on this level of high school football or level of football period, as we can see with the St. Louis Rams, their 2 defensive tackles dominates the game. And we've seen this tonight with their 2 rush ends with Lee County, and that's definitely something to be happy about.
Well, plenty.
So we have an empty set empty backfield. We have 4 guys to the right in a very awkward formation. I've never seen this one before.
Chris looks at the defense. Blitz coming off the right side. They're going to get there, and he can't get out of it. Drags tacklers forward, not quite back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll turn it over on downs. And Lee County, you got to think at this point, probably going to see an awful lot of substitutes into the game.
Yeah, at this
58-12, 7.5 minutes to go. Clock running. We'll see what Coach Purdue elects to do.
And as far as, the Cummins head coach staff, I think it's time to kind of take your guys out and live the fight another day. So let's see what some of this younger talent looks like that's coming out on the field. These guys are going to have their opportunity to shine. And, again, the next man up philosophy.
Well, except that Colin Johnson stays in. Marcus Gray now in at running back. This will be the first time, if I'm not mistaken, A.J. Boulware's come out of the game.
You're absolutely right.
Leaves with 16 carries, 242 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And look at Marcus Gray. Boy, I tell you what, he said, yeah, A.J., I can break tackles too. Watch this.
Absolutely. And his first carry in the game.
Picks up 7 or 8 on his first carry.
Absolutely. And it looks like that's what they're probably going to do. They're going to just run that same play all the way down the field if they're able to and let this clock run. Whoa. If he kept his feet, he might have still been running. Those holes are humongous. And Chris, some of the football is a very simplistic game if you're a student of it. And, for a defensive lineman, you should be able to play the position blind. Because there's only so many things that an offensive lineman can give you. You get either a down block, a double team, a trap, or man up. And, when you're looking at the game, sometimes you have to be able to simplify that for these young guys to negate those sorts of holes.
It's pretty astute analysis there, Gary.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I think when you're coaching at any level or when you're teaching anything, you're supposed to break it down as simple as possible and to allow somebody to, indulge in that. And the best guys who play in these positions, they understand that. That's like corners. The best corners understand the wide receiver's route tree.
That leads me to a conversation I've had a couple of times today. The NFL record for receptions in a season is 143 by Marvin Harrison back in Peyton Manning's heyday.
It's probably going to be broken this year.
Yeah, I'm not ready to say probably. Michael Thomas of the New Orleans Saints has got 38 through 3 games. And, Thomas is a bigger guy. And there goes Marcus Gray. He's 1 tackle away from scoring. Instead, he's pulled down after a gain of about 10. Michael Thomas should be an inspiration to every athlete out there. Thomas is a guy that is a big-ish guy, but not an enormous athlete. Not particularly fast, not particularly quick, never really demonstrated superior hands until now. And this is a guy that couldn't even get a lot of traction coming out of high school. This guy, Keyshawn Johnson's nephew.
Yes.
And we were talking about a story that was related to me the other day. Keyshawn Johnson took Michael Thomas to the campus of the University of Washington while Steve Sarkisian was the head coach there. They obviously had a tie because of the USC connection. Sarkisian worked out Michael Thomas. The young man ran a 4.9 in the 40, and Sarkisian told him, I have no use for him. I can't do anything with him. Sorry, Keyshawn, I know we're buddies, but I can't do anything with him. He ended up eventually at Ohio State, where he had, honestly, a fairly innocuous career, even though it was at a big school. And now you're looking 3 years into an NFL career, and this guy not only does he have 38 catches in 3 games, the best catch percentage for a receiver, for a wide receiver in NFL history in terms of balls thrown, 82%. Right now, Michael Thomas has caught 38. How many balls do you think have been thrown his way?
50.
40.
Wow.
2 times Drew Brees has targeted him, and they've not hooked up. That's
amazing.
Is unbelievable.
That is. And I was just about to say, it's pretty amazing because after Thursday Night Football, Adam Thielen is only up 2 receptions on Michael Thomas. And Michael Thomas has not played yet.
Right? And Thielen is having an unbelievable year.
Season. And I want to say another statistic. How often does the NFL on the same team have 2 guys that is in the top 3 receiving? And this is the kicker. Michael Thomas with 38 receptions is wide receiving. And Alvin Kamara has 30 receptions at running back. That is insane.
And to give perspective, both of those guys are on pace to easily break the single-season record in the NFL.
Absolutely, both.
That's crazy.
And then, once again, we talk. If you're looking at the top 4 guys in the league with receptions, Adam Thielen, number 1, Michael Thomas at number 2, Alvin Kamara at number 3, and then Diggs at number 4. So Minnesota and the Saints have some of the most electrifying players on the field. And then
and you know what else they have in common? Neither one of those teams is playing any defense right now.
At all.
Which is very predictable for New Orleans because you've seen that for a million years. But this Minnesota defense was supposed to be the best in football or right up there in that conversation.
Absolutely.
And here we are 4 weeks in, and they can't stop anybody.
Well, you know, I think with the injuries to their defense line, it changed the dynamics of that defense. And like you said, they can't stop nobody.
All right, Marcus Gray, good hard running since he's come into the game. He's got it down inside the 5-yard line. I'd like to see him get at least one more carry and get a crack at the end zone. Carried the ball really well since he checked into the game. Clock continues to run inside a minute, down now inside 40 seconds. Lee County's going to have to run at least one more play here, and that will probably be it. Be interested to see if Coach Perdue gives them a shot to score a touchdown or if he elects to take a knee. He may actually be running it down and going to take a timeout right before the play clock expires here. Let's see how this plays out. Well, it's been about a full minute since they ran a play. Gray's got it. Dances, fights close to the goal line and is going to be stopped short. Ball comes out. Cummins got it going the other way, and that's a turnover, which is a perfect caps on the end of this game.
Absolutely.
Given the ugliest 46-point win you'll ever want to see.
Yeah, it was not a pretty 46. You would look at this game and say, yeah, they beat up on them, but it was painful.
How does the book open? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was an interesting game, but a lot of fun. In the end, Lee County, the Yellow Jackets, travel to Burlington, get a W they were supposed to get. For the 5th time this year, Cummins High has given up over 50 points in a loss. There's some gems on that team. Alden Edwards is really got a bright future. But they fought to the end, and it showed on that last play of the ball game where they forced a turnover rather than giving up a gimme touchdown there at the end. So commendable effort by Cummins. Lee County showing why they want to make a statement in terms of the postseason this year, but they got some work to do. Got some cleaning up to do. We'll be right back and put a proper cap on the end of this game. You're watching the Classic Nissan Game of the Week on WBFT Channel 46, Sanford, North Carolina.
It's game day at Classic Nissan.
I'm Mike Stozer, General Manager at Classic Nissan here at Sanford. My team of professionals have every position covered to meet all of your automotive needs.
The starting lineup. Your captains on offense, number 5, Holden Cruz. And number 10, Jasmine Dole. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandriff. Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
Nobody beats a classic deal.
Official Caro sponsor.
For decades, residents of Lee County have trusted First Health of the Carolinas to provide quality health care to the Sandhills region. First Health is excited to expand services offered in Lee County with the opening of the new First Health Lee campus located at 2919 Beech Tree Drive in Sanford. The newest First Health campus includes a 25,000 square foot fitness center with an indoor walking track, saltwater pool, weight area, cardio equipment, Les Mills group exercise classes, and so much more. Also offered within the fitness center are physical therapy and cardiac rehabilitation services. The 40,000 square foot medical office building includes a primary care practice, convenient care, outpatient imaging and laboratory services, back and neck pain, and a variety of surgical specialties. For more information about the new First Health Lee campus, visit our website at www.firsthealth.org or call 1-800-213-3284.
First Health of the Carolinas presents the post-game show on WBFT.
All right, welcome to the First Health post-game show. I'm Chris Delambert. This is Gary Bush. Gary, like I said just before the final gun, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
Absolutely. In regards to Cummins, they got that fumble at the end of the game, which was, a little bit of a morale booster going into next week. In regards to Lee County, it was a good game. They won the game, but it was rough. Too many penalties. But like you said before the beginning of the game, 2 weeks off, rusty, a lot of penalties. But in the second half, they proved that they were the more dominant program, less mistakes, and a stellar performance from the running back and Desmond Edwin.
Yeah, hard to get too upset when you win a game by 46 points. However, you cannot commit that many penalties once you get into conference play. You're going to mess around and lose a ball game you shouldn't lose. And, of course, when you get into the playoffs, it's one and done. One and done. So you've got to clean that up. It was, coming off a 2-week break, and maybe by the end of the ball game, we got all the way back to where we started from, where we said Lee County's winning this thing comfortably, but the coaches have plenty to talk to their players about in all phases of the ball game.
Absolutely.
The one bright spot, I want to give a shout out. It's not often you see a kicker line up for 8 extra points in a game. Trey Underwood perfect on extra points, so kudos. Star of the game, without a doubt, A.J. Bullware. 16 carries, 242 yards, 4 touchdowns.
And 1,032 yards on the season.
1,032 yards after 5 games. You're talking about somebody that could be a serious contender to lead the state in rushing. He'll be getting some attention. He'll be getting some attention from some very big schools.
Absolutely.
And well-deserved. That's a tough running young man who is really electric.
Absolutely.
You don't find guys that are that quick and that fast that run that hard very often. That's a special guy, and we'll be excited to see him for the next year and a half while he's here in a Yellow Jacket uniform.
And also on the other side of the ball, we seen a special athlete tonight.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Alden Edwards. You get all the props in the world.
He had about, 7 receptions, I want to say 160-something yards, and 2
couple of touchdowns.
And an interception and several sacks.
And it's not, in this day and age, in passing offenses, you see a lot of diluted receiving numbers, where it's these short little passes and, you make a man miss or whatever the case might be. This really, truly was the only option in the passing game.
Literally.
Pretty much every one of those throws was into double coverage by a quarterback that was under duress all night long. And to come away in a game like this with a pair of touchdowns and 160-plus yards, that was special. And lined up everywhere on the defense.
Absolutely.
Played some corner, played defensive end, played safety. It was a lot. So a great game from Alden Edwards. That was a lot of fun to watch, and we'll be interested to see if he lands somewhere as well. So
absolutely.
All right, that'll wrap it up for the First Health postgame show. You have been tuned in. Thanks for hanging out with us. This has been the Classic Nissan Game of the Week. I am Chris Delambert. This is Gary Bush. Peace.
Are you ready for some football only on WBFT? Welcome to the Classic Nissan Game of the Week.
Shop our inventory online at us1cdj.com.
All my sales, service, and finance has been done here at US 1. They are great guys to work with.
And I can honestly say that in every aspect of the process, I was included, I was respected, and I would highly recommend coming to give them a try.
I have shopped US 1 for over 20 years. Ranger Happy and I enjoy it, and we love this place.
Real prices, real people. Get the real deal
at US 1.
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. In this case, it's worth doing right and left. Introducing the all-new buttermilk and hand-breaded Southern Sweet and Smoky and Southern TLC chicken sandwiches. One has sweet pickles, shredded lettuce, smoky backyard sauce, and a potato bun. The other is an undeniable classic with lettuce, tomato, and mayo. Zaxby's. Friends. Family. Flavor. Order ahead on Zaxby's.com or use our app to skip the wait.
It's game day at Classic Nissan.
I'm Mike Stozer, General Manager at Classic Nissan here at Sanford. My team of professionals have every position covered to meet all of your automotive needs.
The starting lineup. Your captains on offense, number 5, Holden Cruz. And number 10, Jasmine Dowell. Your captains on defense, number 55, Wesley Tater Womack. Number 7, Steve Dandrin. Whether you're a Yellow Jacket or a Cavalier, everybody gets a classic deal. For sales, service, or parts, visit us at ClassicNissanSanford.com or in person on Highway 87, right across from Walmart in Sanford.
Nobody beats a classic deal.
Official Caro sponsor.
For decades, residents of Lee County have trusted First Health of the Carolinas to provide quality health care to the Sandhills region. First Health is excited to expand services offered in Lee County with the opening of the new First Health Lee campus located at 2919 Beech Tree Drive in Sanford. The newest First Health campus includes a 25,000 square foot fitness center with an indoor walking track, saltwater pool, weight area, cardio equipment, Les Mills group exercise classes, and so much more. Also offered within the fitness center are physical therapy and cardiac rehabilitation services. The 40,000 square foot medical office building includes a primary care practice, convenient care, outpatient imaging and laboratory services, back and neck pain, and a variety of surgical specialties. For more information about the new First Health Lee campus, visit our website at www.firsthealth.org or call 1-800-213-3284.